Before the physics competition, my childhood friend and his crush agreed to go for a high-speed ride together to unwind. When I found out, I directly informed his parents to stop them. The next day, the news headline, "High school students racing late at night, 10 dead, 2 injured," spread across the internet. His crush was among the 10. He didn't blame me. Years later, he even went down on one knee and proposed to me. On the day of the wedding, the brake system on the wedding car failed, lying in a pool of blood. I reached out to him, but he just smiled and asked, "Now do you understand what it feels like to wait for death alone at the scene of an accident?" Living my second life, I watched helplessly as he floored the accelerator until it smoked. Then he lost a hand and a leg. When I was in the car accident, blood spilled all over the ground. Jianqing, the childhood friend I grew up with, ignored everyone's warnings and rushed to the car to save me. I thought I was going to be rescued. But then I heard him gnashing his teeth. "Does it hurt? Yaya was only 18, and you've outlived her by 10 years. My eyes were filled with terror. Feng Yaya, the person Jianqing loved most in his youth. It was me who sabotaged the brake pads. It's time for you to be buried with Yaya. I died in despair, eventually turning into a lonely ghost. After death, I saw Jianqing wailing as if he were deeply in love, and saw my parents break down mentally because of my death. Jianqing took the opportunity to ingratiate himself with my parents, gradually gaining access to my family's assets, and while they were grieving, he completely devoured our company. In the end, he drove my parents to jump to their deaths. After doing all this, he sat in front of Feng Yaya's grave with a bottle of wine, saying he had avenged her. I laughed, and as I laughed, I started crying. It turns out that the bond we've shared since childhood means less to him than someone who has only been in his life for a single year. If there is a next life, I will never meddle in his affairs again. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in Jianqing. At the time when he was about to race down a mountain road for Feng Yaya, I was tugging at his arm, begging him not to go. "Whether I go or not has nothing to do with you. Stop meddling so much," Jianqing said impatiently. I was a little startled by the look of disgust in Jianqing's eyes. In my previous life, all I knew was that racing on that nameless mountain road was incredibly dangerous, so I kept trying to stop him. It even escalated to the point where his parents got involved, just to stop him from going. In the end, it was only under the threat of his father and mother that he gave up on drag racing. The next day, the media reported that a group of students had died in a mountain road racing accident. Back then, I was relieved to have stopped Jianqing, but I never expected that very action would push me into the abyss. Thinking of this, I let go of my hold. "Fine, from now on, I won't meddle in your affairs anymore." Jianqing clearly hadn't expected me to say that. He looked dazed for a moment, but soon sped off on the motorcycle he had secretly bought. I glanced at his retreating figure, then turned and left without a trace of reluctance. The next morning, a local push notification popped up on my phone. Shock. High schoolers drag racing late at night, 10 dead, 2 injured. Unfortunately, Jianqing and Feng Yaya didn't die. They were the 2 who got injured too. This time, I didn't stop Jianqing. To my surprise, he ended up saving Feng Yaya by accident. My family and Jianqing's family are very close, so my parents and I went to visit him at the hospital first thing in the morning. Jianqing broke one leg and one arm and now lies in bed with a cast on. Jianqing's mother cried so much that her eyes swelled up like walnuts. She looked at him as if she wanted to say something but held back, seemingly afraid of upsetting him, and swallowed all her words. She took my hand and said to me, "Nian Nian, I know Xiaoqing listens to you the most. Please help me reason with him." Is that so? In my previous life, although Jianqing agreed to every request I made, most of them were obtained through my tantrums and pleading. I think Jianqing probably grew tired of me for that reason. After all, no one wants to like someone who only knows how to throw tantrums and control them. I verbally agreed to Zhang's mother, and then walked up to Jianqing. Glancing at his limited mobility due to injury, I thought I would see Jianqing feeling down because of his injury, but instead he looked radiant, as if something wonderful had happened. He smiled at me and said, "Yaya agreed to be my girlfriend yesterday." This remark seemed deliberately aimed at me, telling me not to bother him anymore. Of course, I never planned on being a doormat again. I deliberately changed the subject. "Oh, then you won't be able to take part in the upcoming physics competition." Jianqing's good mood was shattered by my words. His grades weren't particularly outstanding, only physics was top-notch, which got him selected by the school to compete in a national physics competition. Everyone was expecting him to achieve great results. In the previous life, Jianqing lived up to expectations and won first place, earning a college admission score reduction from a top university, and eventually got into a prestigious 211 university. This time, he was about to lose even the qualification to compete. After learning that Jianqing was injured, I called the teacher and offered to take his place in the physics competition. After listening to me, the teacher paused for a moment and then agreed. After all, my physics grades are no worse than Jiang Cheng's, and in my previous life, I was a university physics professor. A competition like this is hardly difficult for me. A trace of sadness appeared in Jiang Cheng's eyes, but the next moment, his smile returned. It's okay, I can still accompany Yaya through the college entrance exam. I just smiled and said nothing. Just then, an argument broke out outside the hospital room. Fang Yaya had been well protected by Jiangqing the night before and wasn't seriously injured. As soon as she woke up, she wanted to find Jiangqing, but unexpectedly ran into Jiangqing's mother outside his room. Knowing that her son had been injured because of her, Zhang's mother naturally resented Fang Yaya and slapped her directly. You vixen, if it weren't for you, my son wouldn't be in this state. School is about to start for his senior year. How do you expect him to study like this? Fang Yaya sobbed. I'll take responsibility for Jiangqing. Auntie, please don't hit me. Okay. The hospital room was separated from the outside by a door. Her voice was soft and pitiful, so very helpless. It fit the image of a delicate little flower perfectly. Jiangqing panicked instantly and tried to get out of bed in agitation, but with his unsteady legs, he fell straight to the floor, causing a huge commotion. I watched Jiangqing on the ground coldly, a trace of satisfaction rising in my heart. Jiangqing looked up at me, wanting me to help him. He didn't want to embarrass himself like this in front of the one he loved most, but I turned and walked to the door, opening it and speaking loudly. Auntie Jiang. Jiangqing got so upset hearing you hit someone that he fell right out of bed. The door was already surrounded by onlookers. As soon as I opened it, everyone looked into the room. A young man was seen lying awkwardly on the ground, unable to get up no matter how hard he tried. In the eyes of the onlookers, there was mockery and sympathy. The Jiang family were newly rich, and Jiang's mother had put great effort into raising Jiangqing. She strictly followed the standards of high society, teaching Jiangqing to be cautious in word and deed, but she never expected him to end up in such a sorry state over a woman. At that moment, she harbored deep hatred for Fang Yaya. Another argument broke out in the hospital room. I looked at the closed door, my inner satisfaction surging. 3. When I went to school, Fang Yaya also returned to campus. Somehow, a rumor spread around the school that Jiangqing had bravely rescued Fang Yaya. Soon, the news became a hot topic in the otherwise dull life of senior year. Jiangqing is so amazing, just like the male lead in a novel, pushing the heroine aside the first chance he gets and facing danger alone. But it's a pity that he got injured and couldn't take part in the competition. Still, saving someone like that is really cool. After saying these things, they didn't forget to cast sympathetic glances my way. Everyone knows that Jiangqing and I grew up together and share a deep bond, so they figure I must be really upset right now. But all I want to do now is focus on my studies. I don't want to get involved in their drama at all. Nothing can stop me from getting into college. In my previous life, my academic performance had always been excellent. But on the eve of the college entrance exam, Jiangqing deliberately asked me out, claiming it was to relax. However, halfway there, we ran into some thugs. My arm was injured in the attack, while Jiangqing escaped unscathed. Later, I endured the pain in my arm and took the exam anyway. In the end, my score was several dozen points lower than usual, preventing me from getting into my dream 985 university. At that time, disheartened and set on repeating the exam, I found Jiangqing to be like a ray of light, patiently comforting me and convincing me to attend the same 211 university as him. Back then, I only felt that Jiangqing was very considerate, and that with him around, nothing was a problem. But looking back now, there are too many suspicious points about what happened that day. Perhaps starting from that moment, Jiangqing had already begun to target me. This time, I won't let Jiangqing succeed, so I asked my dad for a bodyguard and had him follow me from a discreet distance. Even though I hadn't wronged Jiangqing in this life, someone as unhinged as him might do anything, so having a bodyguard around gave me peace of mind. But I never expected the first person my bodyguard would have to deal with was Fang Yaya. After school, Fang Yaya blocked my way. She pulled me into an alley where several delinquents were waiting. Dressed in a white dress with her long black hair flowing loose, she was the very picture of a campus goddess. But at that moment, she was cozily leaning against the lead thug. Brother Gao, this is Jiangqing's childhood sweetheart. I guarantee she's untouched. Once we ruin her, I'll be able to stay by Jiangqing's side for good. When I'm rich, I'll definitely reward you handsomely. I looked at them coldly, as if they were nothing but trash. In my previous life, I already knew that Fang Yaya had improper relationships with multiple men. She took pleasure in having as many men around her as possible, and Jiangqing was just one of them. I tried to explain this to Jiangqing, But all I got in return was his resentment. Yaya is already dead, can you stop slandering her? After that, I never mentioned Fan Yaya in front of him again from beginning to end. He only thought that Fan Yaya was just well liked, which was why so many people were drawn to her, never knowing her true nature. Brother Gao, don't worry, this girl's family is no match for Jiang Cheng's. Even if something happens, I can smooth things over with Jiangqing by acting a little coquettish. I laughed. Fan Yaya was such a fool. The Jiang family were newly rich and behaved ostentatiously, with Jiangqing himself draped in designer labels. My parents, however, were modest and reserved, and I followed their example, never flaunting anything. I never expected that because of this, Fan Yaya would think I was easy to bully. To be honest, the Jiang family was far beneath my family's standing. Otherwise, Jiangqing wouldn't have needed to lie low for a decade in his previous life before he had a chance to strike at us. At Fan Yaya's instigation, Brother Gao came up to me with a lecherous look, ready to lay his hands on me, but all that followed was a howl of pain. Brother Gao's arm was twisted by the bodyguard, and he was pinned to the ground. He was about to scream, but after seeing the fierce glare of the bodyguard, he was so frightened that he repeatedly begged for mercy. Fan Yaya made me do all of it, every bit of it was her. Fan Yaya was so frightened that her legs gave way, and she collapsed onto the ground. I looked at her and said, you treat Jiangqing like a treasure, but to me, he's just trash. Don't ever lump me together with him again, he doesn't deserve it. Fan Yaya wanted to argue, but the moment her eyes met the bodyguard's, she backed down completely, too scared to say another word. 04 After that day, Fan Yaya never came looking for me again. She also shifted her focus entirely to Jiangqing. Every day after school, she went straight to the hospital, taking care of Jiangqing tirelessly until late at night, all while putting on a show of weakness to squeeze some money out of him. Fan Yaya was famously impoverished at school, and had even been dubbed the canteen beauty back when she helped serve food in the school cafeteria. So when she asked for money, Jiangqing gave it to her without a second thought, even telling her to ask for more if it wasn't enough. From then on, Fan Yaya started spending money more and more recklessly, and even gathered quite a few hangers-on. Those who had once mocked her for being poor no longer dared to say much, only muttering under their breath, isn't she just riding on Jiangqing's coattails? What's there to be proud of? She's just selling her body. That's not quite right. Although Fan Yaya had long given herself to other men, things between her and Jiangqing were completely innocent. She had never crossed that line with him. The money, of course, was willingly given by Jiangqing. Still, a high school student living in a hospital and spending money like water would soon be found out. After learning about this, Zhang's mother was furious. Her own son was hospitalized because of that girl, and now he was secretly giving her money. She slapped Fan Yaya right in the hospital room, grabbed her by the hair, and started hitting her. Fan Yaya was used to acting fragile in front of Jiangqing, and no matter how much Zhang's mother hit her, she wouldn't fight back. Seeing the girl he loved being treated this way, Jiangqing got out of his hospital bed to shield Fan Yaya, and said quite a few hurtful things to his mother. That night, Jiangqing took Fan Yaya and snuck out of the hospital. The Jiang family was thrown into complete chaos, and many people were sent out to look for them. When I got home, my parents were still talking about all this. That kid Jiangqing usually seems fine, but I never thought he'd go this far over a woman. He's really quite rebellious, I chimed in. Maybe the two of them are true loves. In his previous life, Jiangqing laid low for over a decade just to avenge Fan Yaya. Isn't that true love? Mom looked at me suspiciously. She thought that because I said something like that, I must have someone I liked too, and she was afraid I'd go as crazy as Jiangqing, so she kept drilling into me the dangers of dating as a student. Only after I repeatedly assured her that I didn't have a crush on anyone did she finally relax. 05 As time went on, the day of the physics preliminaries arrived as scheduled. When I returned from the competition, Jiangqing had also come back to school. He hadn't fully recovered yet, and Fan Yaya pushed his wheelchair to and from school every day with a handsome guy and a beautiful girl accompanied by touching love. Everyone couldn't help but feel envious, and the two of them never tried to hide it. Intimate scenes of them could be seen in every corner of the school, as if they were the only two people on campus. During PE class, they hid under a tree and kissed passionately, making loud smacking sounds. When the other students and I, who were studying in the corner, heard the noise, we turned red with embarrassment. Among us, one bold student shouted toward the tree, "School is not a place for your romance. Can you not act like you're in heat all the time, if you don't care about your dignity?" Some of us do. The sounds behind the tree stopped. Then, with a blush on her face, Fan Yaya pushed Jiangqing out into the open. "How could you eavesdrop on us here? We were already hiding. Her voice was full of grievance, softening hearts, but the other students weren't as clueless as Jiangqing. Fuming at Fan Yaya's manipulative words, they put their hands on their hips and started arguing with her. No matter how eloquent Fan Yaya was, one mouth was no match for several. Jiangqing, who saw himself as above such things, would never stoop to arguing with a girl. He looked at me through the crowd. Over the years, we had developed a deep understanding, even without words. I knew he wanted me to help Fan Yaya. What a joke. There was no way I was getting involved in that mess. Silently, I looked away, pretending I hadn't seen a thing. In the end, Fan Yaya couldn't win the argument and had to grudgingly push Jiangqing away from there. But soon, the sound of a dean's angry shout came from the corner. What are you two doing? Call your parents to come here. It turned out that Jiangqing, trying to comfort Fan Yaya, had pulled her into a kiss in the corner, and the dean caught them red-handed. As the dean led the two toward the office, he happened to see us studying with our books and couldn't help making a few more remarks. Look at them, they don't even forget to study during PE class, and here you are, hiding in a corner doing useless things. Studying hard is what students should be doing. After the dean left, the students, who had just been praised, all burst into laughter. Who says youth has to be about dating? The dean himself said to focus on studying. Yeah, Fan Yaya herself doesn't study well, yet she calls us bookworms. Her grades can't even touch the tail of ours. I laughed along with him. Studying hard is what we should be doing. 6. Jiangqing and Fan Yaya had their parents called in because they were dating. As it happened, I was in the office discussing the physics competition semifinals with my teacher when I ran into the disciplinary director reprimanding them. I saw with my own eyes Jiangqing standing in front of Fan Yaya like a knight, gripping her wrist tightly with his still functional left hand. With a determined look in his eyes, he declared to everyone present that he liked Fan Yaya, and that no one could tear them apart. I frowned hard. The way Jiangqing looked at that moment reminded me of him 10 years later. Back then, after Jiangqing took over the family business, he single-handedly elevated the Jiang Group's status through his formidable abilities, and no one dared to mock them as nouveau riche ever again. Later, to curry favor with Jiangqing, some business people tried to push various women into his arms, but he coldly refused every single one of them, not even bothering to pretend otherwise, and directly burned bridges. At that time, he looked exactly the way he now resists his mentor. Back then, I felt Jiangqing had real integrity and was someone I could trust with my life. But thinking about it now, I fear that Jiangqing's actions were likely all for Fan Yaya. Even though Fan Yaya had been dead for many years, he remained faithful to her memory. So all these years, he had been missing Fan Yaya in all sorts of ways. At that thought, my body jolted violently. I really must have been blind back in those days, completely kept in the dark. Then Fan Yaya stepped forward and said, Auntie Jiang, do you really think you've done nothing wrong? All along, you've had an intense need to control Jiangqing. He is a person, not a puppet for you to manipulate. Now, just because he's in a relationship, you're being so restrictive. Don't you think your need for control is going too far? Jiangqing's mother looked at him, but he turned his gaze away, silently agreeing with Fan Yaya's words. A look of disappointment appeared on his mother's face, and she seemed to sway unsteadily. I went over and steadied her. She grabbed my hand and cried profusely, Nian Nian, why isn't it you who ended up with Xiaocheng? Why did it have to be someone like her? Why, my family and the Jiangs are close, and the adults often joked about pairing us together, but that's exactly what gave me some thoughts. Whenever Fan Yaya appeared, I always tried to sabotage things between them, stubbornly believing that we were the ones who should be together. Now I know I was wrong, so I don't want to get involved with them anymore. Auntie, I only see Jiangqing as a brother. There's no way I'd ever be with him. Please don't bring this up again. Jiangqing's eyes flashed with shock, as if he couldn't understand why I would say that. In his eyes, I was still the girl who always followed him around and obeyed his every request, not someone who would distance herself from him like this. Fan Yaya just smiled. Did you hear that, Jiangqing? She's been avoiding you ever since you got hurt. She's disgusted by you. Now, no one but me will treat you well. She watched Jiangqing's expression change with satisfaction, then looked at me, beaming with pride. You'd better remember what you said now, and don't come bothering Jiangqing again. Is there something wrong with this person's brain? I've said it so many times. It has nothing to do with Jiangqing at all. How can she not understand a single word? I seriously suspect Fan Yaya has an IQ problem. Otherwise, how could she not grasp such a simple point? Just then, the door opened, and my father walked in with a serious expression. What kind of nobody is Jiangqing that my daughter would bother chasing after him? The office fell completely silent. 07 I left my competition materials at home, and my father happened to have time to bring them to me. I never expected him to walk in on such a scene. His every move carried a natural air of authority, and Jiangqing instinctively shrank back, but Fan Yaya, as if she hadn't noticed at all, pointed at me and said, "Everyone at school knows your daughter has been clinging to Jiangqing. He's mine, so she'd better keep her distance from now on." My father looked at me. I shook my head at him. The truth is, I really did like Jiangqing before, but now, I'd gladly push him into the abyss with my own hands. Once my father knew how I felt, he didn't bother being polite to Jiangqing either. "Keep your little girlfriend in check. Don't let me hear her speak to Nian like that again." Jiangqing obediently agreed, but Fang Yaya didn't seem to read the room and wanted to say more, only to be sharply rebuked by Jiangqing. No matter how muddled Jiangqing might be, he wouldn't dare act recklessly in front of my father. Fang Yaya, however, thought he was protecting me, and threw quite a tantrum at Jiangqing over it. When I got home, my father was waiting for me in the living room. "The Jiang family is still in need of working capital. I have the money. What do you think I should do?" I was a bit taken aback. In my previous life, around this time, the Jiang family had also run into financial trouble. My father, thinking there was goodwill between the families, helped them without hesitation. Unlike now, when he asked for my opinion, perhaps the recent upheavals in the Jiang family had made him hesitate. I smiled and replied, "Father, grandfather's greatest wish was to see you grow the family business. Now is the perfect time, isn't it?" Father smiled and patted my head, saying I had grown up. I was busy with my studies and didn't have time to pay attention to what father was doing. "Not until Jiangqing came to find me. Just because I won't be with you, you're making your family treat mine like this." According to him, because of my father's actions, the business owners who had been hesitant due to the relationship between my family and the Jiangs no longer had any reservations and began to move against the Jiangs, crushing the Jiang family until they were on the verge of collapse. "If you can get your uncle to help, I'll consider being with you." I was speechless. No wonder Jiangqing fell for Ye Fang. I've said many times that I don't like him, but they act as if they can't understand. Still stubbornly believing I'm deeply in love with him, I looked at him coldly. "Jiangqing, don't be so overconfident as to think everyone likes you. I used to see you as a brother, but now you're not even that. Please don't come looking for me anymore. Just treat me like a stranger." But Jiangqing acted as if he didn't understand and continued, "Zhao Nian, I've already done this much. Your tantrum should have its limits. Isn't this just because you want to be with me? As long as you get your uncle to stop, we can still be together. Otherwise, you'll never have me for the rest of your life." I just found it laughable, then told him to get lost as far as possible. Even one more look at him made me feel disgusted. Jiangqing's face turned cold, his expression full of arrogance. He left me with a warning not to regret it, then turned around and left in his wheelchair. Even his back view exudes stubbornness. After that day, Jiangqing and I never spoke again, and even our meetings became much fewer. But Fang Yaya kept showing up in front of me, deliberately or not, flaunting her luxury branded bags. She said Jiangqing had bought her expensive bags to prove his loyalty, just to make amends with her. "Zhao Nian, given your family's situation, you probably can't afford a bag this nice, right? I heard it costs several $100,000. I told Jiangqing not to buy it, but he insisted that only something like this could be worthy of me. "It's such a sweet burden." There was a hint of smugness in her tone, but I smiled. The Jiang family had been struggling in deep waters lately, yet Jiangqing still had spare money to buy gifts for Fang Yaya. Such deep devotion. Since that's the case, I might as well give it a push. 8 During a casual conversation, I let this news slip to Jiang's mother. After she found out that Jiangqing had bought luxury items for Fang Yaya, she stormed straight into the classroom, grabbed Fang Yaya by the hair, and dragged her out. "You little tramp. All you know is how to seduce my son into giving you money. You're absolutely shameless." Before the Jiang family struck it rich, Jiang's mother had done all kinds of rough and exhausting work, so she was very strong. In no time, she had Fang Yaya pinned down and slapped her repeatedly. Before long, Fang Yaya's fair and delicate face was swollen. Jiangqing sat helplessly in his wheelchair, trying to help. He fell to the ground instead and could only watch Fang Yaya being bullied. The chaos only stopped when Fang Yaya fainted. Later, it was said that Fang Yaya had fainted because she was too excited about being pregnant. When I heard the news, my mouth dropped open wide enough to stuff an egg in. How could she be pregnant? Everyone knows Jiangqing is infertile. In my previous life, when I married Jiangqing and went for a prenatal checkup, the results showed that Jiangqing was infertile and could never have children. The test results back then couldn't have been wrong. So there's only one possibility: Fang Yaya's child isn't Jiangqing's. I thought she would cut ties with those people after getting together with Jiangqing. But I never expected she would be bold enough to get pregnant. Fan Yaya insisted the child was Jiang Cheng's as soon as she found out she was pregnant, and successfully moved into the Jiang family. I heard the Jiang family takes this child very seriously, treating Fan Yaya like a treasure with good food and drinks. Jiang Cheng even stopped going to school, staying home to focus on accompanying Fan Yaya through her pregnancy. When classmates found out, they marveled at his devotion. If I had a love story as perfect as theirs, having a child wouldn't be a big deal either. I heard they even plan to repeat their senior year together after the baby is born. Others sneered at it. Dropping out to have a baby, what an idiot. I agree with that. Being lovesick is truly not the way to go. The workload in senior year is getting heavier and heavier, and school ends later every day. One night, I came home late and happened to overhear Jiang Cheng arguing with his mother in the yard. If it weren't for the fact that you Jiang men have difficulty fathering children, do you think I would have brought her home? Once the baby is born, send her away, and don't even think about letting her set foot in the Jiang family again. Mom, you can't do this. Just because dad had trouble getting you pregnant doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. Yeah, and I will have more children in the future. She's going to be the mother of my child. You can't chase her away. So Jiang Cheng still didn't know about his infertility, his eyes full of anticipation for the child's arrival. I curled my lips into a smile. If I waited until he was overjoyed and the baby was born before telling him the truth, it would surely be a devastating blow. I'd let him stay happy for a while longer. In the days that followed, I studied hard and occasionally learned about his family's situation through others. Apparently, Fan Yaya had dropped her innocent act and was throwing her weight around at home, relying on the baby in her belly. When she couldn't sleep in the middle of the night, she would drag the whole family into staying awake with her. If she suddenly craved something to eat, Jiang Cheng had to go buy it for her immediately, or she would threaten him using their child. The Jiang family was put through no small amount of torment. When I saw Jiang Cheng again, he looked utterly worn out. I ignored him and continued to study hard. Not long after, the physics competition came to an end. I won first prize, which would give me significant extra points in the college entrance exam. With those bonus points, I was sure to be admitted to my dream 985 University 9. The night I won the competition award, Jiang Cheng came to find me. I instinctively stepped back, keeping my distance from him. Jiang Cheng gave a bitter smile. Is there really a need for things to be this strained between us? I felt Jiang Cheng was being strange. Clearly, our relationship had long since become as tense as it could be, so how could he say something like that? As I was about to leave, he called out to me, Nian Nian, I had a dream. In the dream, I won first place in the competition. Did he awaken memories of a past life in the dream? I gave him a long, deep look and said, better stop dreaming. You can't even hold a pen to write right now. How are you going to take any exam? Jiang Cheng remained silent, so I left directly. Starting that day, Jiang Cheng texted me every day, saying he dreamed that we went to the same college, fell in love there, and even dreamed of our marriage proposal. Annoyed by him, I simply blocked his number and continued to study hard. Damn man, don't even think about disturbing my studies. Whenever Jiang Cheng ran into me, he seemed to hesitate, his eyes full of complicated emotions, and I had my bodyguard stand in front of me, blocking all his views, until one day, he suddenly started keeping his distance from me. I figured he must have seen in his dreams all those things he did to me. That's fine too. Without distractions, I can study even better. In the days that followed, I studied hard alongside other senior high school students, working from morning until late at night, all for the sake of the college entrance exam. The day before the exam, my mother, feeling sorry that I was so exhausted from studying, told me to go out and get some fresh air with my classmates. After she insisted repeatedly, I finally stepped outside, but halfway there, I ran into the same person who had injured my hand before the college entrance exam in my previous life. The bodyguards who had been watching over me acted quickly, subduing him in no time and hauling him straight to the police station. I looked at that person, feeling a bit dazed. Clearly, this time I had no connection to Jiang Chengzi at all. So why was he still doing this to me? I returned home under the escort of a bodyguard. After my parents learned what had happened to me outside, they couldn't sleep well the entire night. The next day, they even brought along several bodyguards to escort me to the exam, terrified that something might happen to me during the college entrance exams. After the college entrance exams were over, I contacted a private investigator. Since being reborn, I had been having someone investigate Fan Yaya, taking intimate photos of her with various men. Originally, I only planned to keep them as leverage, but now that Jiang Cheng has treated me this way, I no longer need to be soft-hearted. On the day Fan Yaya gave birth to her child, I had someone deliver the photos to the Jiang family that very night. a fierce argument broke out in the Jiang household. Jiang's mother loudly cursed Fang Yaya for being shameless, while Jiang's father, furious, started smashing things. Jiangqing remained completely silent, his eyes filled with gloom. Fang Yaya had been abandoned. The Jiang family directly left her at the hospital, refusing to pay any further expenses. Within 2 days, Fang Yaya showed up outside the Jiang family home, crying and wailing while holding her child. I bore a child for your Jiang family, yet all of you abandoned me at the hospital. Is there no justice anymore? Having recently given birth, Fang Yaya's figure had lost its shape, her fair face now marked with many spots, and her tantrum made her look like a shrew. She was completely unlike her former fragile self. The Jiang family did not show themselves, leaving her to bake under the scorching sun. Soon, more and more onlookers gathered outside the Jiang residence, and gossip began to spread. Only then did Jiangqing have no choice but to come out. There was no trace of love in his eyes as he looked at Fang Yaya. He said coldly, "I won't help raise another man's child. Give up on that idea." Fang Yaya cried as she tried to hold him. "Jiangqing, you can't slander me like this. This is your child, you can't just reject him." Taking advantage of the fact that the Jiang family hadn't done a DNA test, she lied with full confidence. "Tell me, how can two people with single eyelids give birth to a child with double eyelids? Genetic mutation, single eyelids, or double eyelids?" Fang Yaya's grades were a mess. She couldn't understand a word of Jiangqing dialect, and still tried to use the child as leverage. It's hard to go from luxury to frugality. Having been well cared for during her days at the Jiang family, she had no desire to return to that shabby home. She had to hold on to Jiangqing, her lifeline. "Do you regret being with me? Because of Zhang Yanyan, right? Because I've had a child and am not as pretty as her. Do you want to go back to her?" Watching the drama from the crowd, I felt as uncomfortable as if I'd swallowed a fly. Both of them were clearly out of their minds. I quietly stepped back, not wanting to get involved. Then someone in the crowd suddenly spoke up. "Honey, you must not have studied hard in high school. Two people with single eyelids can't produce a child with double eyelids. You'd better go find the biological father." After the man finished speaking, the crowd burst into laughter. Fang Yaya's face turned red and pale by turns. No wonder the Jiang family abandoned her at the hospital. They must have found out the child wasn't theirs. Fang Yaya hurried away with the child in her arms, not daring to lift her head. I thought that would be the end of it, but unexpectedly, Jiangqing came looking for me again. "Nian Nian, I know I was wrong. I never imagined Fang Yaya would be like this. How could I have treated you that way for her sake? Please forgive me." "Okay," I frowned. Jiangqing continued, "If only you had stopped me back then, in this life, because I didn't stop him. The trajectories of our lives have become completely different from those in the previous life." Jiangqing, once the golden boy, ended up failing the college entrance exam, and the child he had cared for so long turned out not to be his. He had completely lost the confidence and vitality he once had. "Can we go back to how we were?" I didn't answer him. Instead, I asked, "Was it you who tried to ruin my arm the day before the college entrance exam?" Jiangqing's eyes dodged a little, and he stammered for a long time without giving a clear answer. I simply had him thrown out. Later, during summer break, I joined my father's company. Relying on memories from my past life, I snatched away the Jiang family's contracts and accelerated their downfall. On the day the Jiang family declared bankruptcy, the police came with silver handcuffs and arrested Jiangqing for intentional injury. It turned out that the person who had been plotting against me before the college entrance exam confessed everything while in custody. The parents of the Jiang family were already mentally and physically exhausted due to their company's bankruptcy, and after their son was taken away, Zhang's mother completely lost her mind. Later, the next I heard about her was on the social news. A woman drove her car into a young mother and her child, then repeatedly ran over their bodies until they died. Their figures were unmistakably Zhang's mother and Fang Yaya. 11. I put down my phone and didn't pay it any more attention. The news about that family no longer had anything to do with me. After the holiday ended, I entered a top-tier university and got along very well with my roommates. Every day, I joined them in various activities, and in my spare time, I even went to work at my father's company. My father said I had a knack for business and let me get an early start on the core operations of the company. I couldn't help but think of my previous life, because Jiangqing once said a woman should have a stable job. I chose to become a university professor. He took the chance to follow my father around, showing loyalty, which made my father trust him completely. After I died, my father was so overcome with grief that he handed everything over to Jiangqing, which is why my family's fortune fell apart so quickly. Now, drawing on the memories of my past life, I've made a fortune by breaking into emerging industries thanks to my standout performance. Many people are keeping a close eye on my every move. Whenever I show interest in a certain industry, they follow suit. If they can't have the meat, at least they get the soup. Because of my excellence, I've gained quite a few admirers. While having dinner with one of my admirers, I happened to see Jianqing bussing tables because he had been in prison. He couldn't find a proper job and could only do odd jobs at the restaurant. When his eyes met mine, he froze entirely, and the plate in his hand shattered on the floor. The boss saw this and berated him harshly, while Jianqing, with a numb expression, silently endured it all. Seeing me looking at the waiter, my admirer asked, "You know him?" I shook my head. Let's go in and eat." After that, Jianqing and I never saw each other again. My colorful life had only just begun. The end. Story 2. The first thing I did after rebirth was tear up the marriage application my fiancé Lu Yanxi was about to submit. In my past life, I desperately clung to Lu Yanxi until marriage, only to discover on my deathbed that he'd been secretly involved with Jiang Shuolan for 40 years. Now, knowing the truth, I won't make the same foolish mistakes this time. I'll step aside voluntarily and let Lu Yanxi be with Jiang Shuolan, the woman who's always occupied his heart. I don't object to Lu Yanxi supporting Jiang Shuolan, nor do I mind him giving half his salary to her, but I never expected Jiang Shuolan to be so greedy. She actually had her eyes on my college admission letter. In your dreams, I firmly rejected Jiang Shuolan's unreasonable demand the day after I rejected Jiang Shuolan's unreasonable demands and had a falling out with Lu Yanxi. Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shuolan were caught in bed together. In my past life, oblivious to Lu Yanxi's dissatisfaction with our engagement, I happily married him relying on our childhood betrothal. Lu Yanxi worked long hours, and both his parents were in poor health. To let Lu Yanxi focus on his career, I gave up my chance to attend university and devoted my entire life to caring for his parents and raising our children. In 40 years of marriage, Lu Yanxi and I spent no more than 2 years together. Our life was marked by long separations. As a woman, I shouldered it all, nursing aging in-laws above and tending to young children below. You can imagine how hard life was. I always hoped Lu Yanxi would voluntarily transfer back to my city to share the burden, but until his dying day, Lu Yanxi never came back. I always thought Lu Yanxi had no choice, until I learned the truth on my deathbed. Lu Yanxi wasn't trapped by circumstances. He simply didn't love me, couldn't bear the sight of his own wife. He wanted to stay far away from me, so he could freely care for his true love, Jiang Shuolan. 1. Behind my back, he secured a job for Jiang Shuolan. The two of them were all lovey-dovey. His southern transfer was entirely for her sake. His northern relocation was likewise for Jiang Shuolan. His heart never strayed from her. Their devotion to each other was absolute and unquestioned. Only on my deathbed did I realize I'd been played for a fool my entire life, reduced to nothing but a pitiful joke. Pulling my college acceptance letter from the bottom of the trunk, I pressed it tightly against my chest as tears of joy streamed down uncontrollably. Thank goodness, there's still time. In my past life, I was hopelessly devoted to Lu Yanxi and obsessed with becoming his wife. I foolishly gave up college for so-called love, slaving away at home to care for his ailing parents. This lifetime, such stupidity won't happen again. I'm going to college to build my own future. As for Lu Yanxi, isn't he in love with Jiang Shuolan anyway? This lifetime, I'll step away from this entanglement with Lu Yanxi and let the star-crossed lovers have their happy ending. Having composed myself, I walked out of the bedroom to find Lu Yanxi sitting on the living room chair. On the table before him lay the marriage application he'd prepared but hadn't yet submitted. Lu Yanxi stared coldly at the marriage certificate with furrowed brows, not even bothering to glance my way when I approached. In my past life, Lu Yanxi had always been distant toward me. I mistook his indifference for natural aloofness, never realizing it was his way of showing dislike. Only when I saw his radiant smile in photos with Jiang Shuolan before dying did I understand. He simply never smiled for me. Lu Yanxi frowned at the marriage application before him, clearly reluctant to submit it. The wedding date was set by both families. Though Lu Yanxi didn't love me, he was a filial son who wouldn't disobey his parents. Marrying him was considered marrying above my station. My parents desperately wanted me to wed a military officer to elevate our family's status. This wasn't the time to mention breaking up. I had to stop him from submitting that application like he did in our past life, which would legally bind us together. I walked up to him and picked up the marriage application. Let me handle submitting this. Without waiting for his reply, I took the document and walked away. I found a secluded spot, tore the marriage papers to shreds, and tossed them into a nearby sewer. Watching the fragments disappear into the murky water without a trace, I finally exhaled in relief. Don't worry about marriage for now. my immediate focus is preparing for school. My parents always pushed me to marry Lu Yanxi quickly. In my past life, when I got into university, they desperately tried to talk me out of attending. They kept preaching about the benefits of marrying him. Back then, I loved Lu Yanxi and was easily swayed by their arguments too. I wasted my entire life slaving away for him without complaint, yet gained nothing, not even in death. I'll never follow my parents' advice again in this lifetime. No more repeating past mistakes. After clarifying the required university application materials and living expenses, I finally returned to Lu Yanxi's place. Approaching the courtyard, I spotted a parked car inside. Then saw Lu Yanxi and a young woman stepping out with armfuls of shopping bags. Just like the previous life, Jiang Shualan was rightfully brought under Lu Yanxi's care without any changes. Lu Yanxi brought Jiang Shualan to live with him, claiming it was because her brother had sacrificed his life to save him. I always believed Lu Yanxi owed Jiang Shualan a life debt, so his devotion to her seemed only natural. Had Jiang Shualan not exposed their true relationship later, I would have remained in the dark until my dying day. I watched indifferently as Lu Yanxi carried Jiang Shualan's luggage to the room prepared especially for her. Sensing my gaze, Lu Yanxi paused and turned. "You're back," I murmured in agreement as he introduced Jiang Shualan to me. "Just like in our past life, this is Jiang Shualan, my comrade's younger sister. She'll be staying here until she starts college." Until college starts, my heart suddenly skipped a beat. It suddenly dawned on me, the university Jiang Shualan attended was likely the same university A that appeared on my admission letter. In our previous life, I'd never questioned the nature of her relationship with Lu Yanxi. Jiang Shualan had been brought to live in the compound by Lu Yanxi, and only left for University A after we got married. But when I went to inquire about enrollment today, I carefully reviewed University A's admission quota list. There were only 3 spots, one was mine, and the other 2 went to male students I didn't know. Jiang Shualan wasn't on University A's admission list, so how did she qualify to attend? Back then, the national college entrance exams had just resumed a few years prior, and university slots could still be transferred. A sudden thought struck me. Could it be that Jiang Shualan only got the chance to attend university because I gave up my spot by marrying him? If that's the case, did Lu Yanxi have a hand in this? Did he marry me just so his beloved could go to college, using me as his dutiful homemaker, while Jiang Shualan, who wasn't even qualified, got the opportunity because I stepped aside? I can't bear to think Lu Yanxi could be this despicable. But then I remembered Jiang Shualan's smug words at my deathbed in my past life. "You've rightfully monopolized Yanxi for over 4 decades. Now it's my turn to enjoy our golden years with him." Jiang Shualan's shameless pride in being the other woman all these years makes me think this way again. Watching Jiang Shualan cling to Lu Yanxi without an ounce of discretion, I sneered inwardly, casually remarking, "You two carry on. I'll handle dinner." I hadn't gone far when Jiang Shualan's saccharine, pitiful voice called out behind me, "Brother Yanxi, did I interrupt you and sister by coming unannounced? I feel like sister isn't very happy to see me." Her sickeningly sweet tone made my lips twist in disgust. My revulsion instantly peaked. Without turning around, Lu Yanxi's voice reached my ears with perfect clarity. "Don't worry, I promised your brother I'd take good care of you, and I won't go back on my word. As long as I'm here, no one will dare mistreat you." Defending her already, my past self must have been completely clueless. Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shualan returned 2 hours later. I'd already prepared the meal when Jiang Shualan made a show of coming to the kitchen to help serve dishes. She proactively served rice, but only filled 2 bowls, one for herself and one for Lu Yanxi. Her intentions were as plain as day. Pretending not to notice her little scheme, I nonchalantly served myself some rice, sat down, and dug in heartily. Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shualan took their seats as well, but both froze when they saw the dishes on the table. The table held 4 dishes: mapo tofu, spicy potatoes, fiery spare ribs, and the only soup, string bean soup, which also had red chili peppers floating on its surface. Both Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shualan prefer light, mild-flavored dishes. Seeing the spread of spicy and aromatic dishes, Lu Yanxi turned his gaze toward me. I ignored him and kept eating. In my past life, I'd always cooked bland meals tailored to his taste to accommodate him. But after rebirth, I refused to compromise. Watching me relish the bold flavors without sparing him or Jiang Shualan a thought, Lu Yanxi's expression darkened. Jiang Shualan's eyes welled up with tears as she gazed pitifully at Lu Yanxi. Eventually, Lu Yanxi couldn't take it anymore and stood up. "Shualan can't handle spicy food. Skip the chili next time. I'll take her out for dinner today." I kept eating indifferently, not even sparing a glance at Lu Yanxi or Jiang Shualan. With those 2 annoying people gone, I happily devoured my meal until I was stuffed. After dinner, I cleared the table and went out for a short walk to aid digestion. Since Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shuolan hadn't returned, I went back to my room, closed the door, and opened my trunk. I took out the food coupons and money we'd saved for the wedding and began carefully calculating our budget. This was the nest egg Lu Yanxi and I had prepared for our marriage, partly from my parents' hard-saved dowry, and partly from his family's betrothal gifts. I'm going to college soon. Travel expenses, food, everything costs money, and I have no intention of letting Lu Yanxi touch a single penny of it. In my past life, after marrying Lu Yanxi, all that money ended up being handed over to fund Jiang Shuolan's education. I won't make that same mistake again. Every cent and ration coupon stays with me. No free rides for anyone this time. After securing the money, ration coupons, and admission letter, I cleared out all the wedding preparations stored in the trunk. The bright red bed sheets, duvet covers, and pillowcases are now useless since there won't be a wedding. I might as well give these things away. Aunt Wu from the compound has always been kind to me, and her daughter's getting married this month too. I packed everything up and gave it to her. Aunt Wu was surprised when I brought the gifts over. She asked me a few questions, but I brushed her off with vague excuses. 3. When I got home, Lu Yanxi still hadn't returned. After washing up, I went to my room and marked a red check on the wall calendar. Just 20 more days until I leave for school. I slept soundly that night, completely unaware when Lu Yanxi came home. The next morning, I made myself a bowl of noodles. Lu Yanxi only emerged from his room as I was eating. He looked genuinely startled when I ignored him completely while eating noodles alone. Can't blame Lu Yanxi for that reaction. I used to be head over heels for him. I used to cater to his every need, never cooking spicy food since he disliked it. Knowing his stomach issues, I'd wake up early every morning to make him millet porridge. I'd walk him to the compound gate every morning when he left for work, then wait eagerly at the entrance to welcome him home each evening. To me, he was like an emperor on his throne, while I played the role of his dutiful servant. No wonder Lu Yanxi felt unsettled when his devoted servant suddenly stopped prioritizing his every need. When Lu Yanxi realized I was completely ignoring him, he had no choice but to come over himself. Shuolan isn't familiar with this area, so I took her out for dinner last night and showed her around before coming back. Is Lu Yanxi actually explaining himself to me? Now that's something you don't see every day. I mumbled through a mouthful of noodles. Of course, looking after her is only natural. No need to report to me. Lu Yanxi froze for a moment, clearly stunned by my reaction. After all, I used to love him so much. Lu Yanxi has striking good looks, and plenty of admirers outside. I used to keep a close eye on Lu Yanxi. It would upset me if any girl talked to him for more than a few words. My sudden indifference toward his affairs with Jiang Shuolan made Lu Yanxi sense something was off. He studied me intently before continuing. Shuolan's brother is gone because of me. From now on, she's my sister, and I'll always look after her. Half of my salary and ration coupons will go to her. In my past life, after marrying Lu Yanxi, I stayed home caring for his ailing parents while he gave me only 10 yuan out of his 40 yuan monthly salary. I toiled from dawn till dusk, taking on odd jobs whenever possible to make ends meet. Yet he gave half his paycheck to Jiang Shuolan. How utterly devoted he was to her, neglecting his parents, abandoning his wife and child. His heart belonged solely to that Jiang Shuolan. I was seething with rage, wishing I could slap that handsome face of his with the brutal truth. I held myself back. Fine, you handle it. I've got no objections. What do I care if Lu Yanxi gives Jiang Shuolan half his work assignments and ration coupons? He could hand over his entire salary to her for all I care. It's not like I'll marry him anyway, let alone waste my life tending to his parents. Let's see how his sick parents will afford medicine and meals when he's given all his money to Jiang Shuolan. I wolfed down the noodles and tidied up before heading back to my room. Yesterday I only sent out the wedding bedding set, sheets, duvet covers, and pillowcases. Today I'm clearing out everything in my room. Those college entrance exam books are useless now. I'm selling them all. Everything I'd prepared for Lu Yanxi was either given away or thrown out. I kept the door shut while silently tidying up, completely unaware when Lu Yanxi left. I gathered the books to sell as scrap, then took out the handmade cloth shoes I'd made for Lu Yanxi to sell too. Whatever couldn't be sold got unceremoniously bundled up and tossed in the trash. Then I tore up all the red wedding decorations and threw them away. After finishing everything, I picked up a pen and crossed off another day on the calendar. There were 19 days left until school started, so I needed to get my supplies ready. I went to the supply and marketing cooperative, never expecting to run into Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shuolan there. The two were shopping together like a loving married couple. Lu Yanxi was so considerate. He even bought Jiang Shuolan thermal underwear for autumn. With a sweet, coquettish smile, Jiang Shuolan said, "Brother Yanxi, This is more than enough. No need to buy anything else. I heard the place where you're studying gets quite cold. Better to have a couple extra sets just in case." The two chatted intimately, completely oblivious to their surroundings. Jiang Shualan spotted me first and called out with an air of superiority, "Xingnan, you're shopping too." Only when he heard Jiang Shualan's voice did Lu Yanxi finally notice me. My half-smile as I watched them made him visibly uncomfortable. "Shualan's starting college soon. I'm just helping her get some supplies," he explained, for as he spoke, his gaze drifted to the stationery and paper I was holding. "I've already bought it for Shualan. No need for you to get another." What made him think I'd ever do these things for Jiang Shualan? Ignoring Lu Yanxi, I gathered my purchased stationery and walked away without a word. Lu Yanxi chased after me, calling my name twice, but I quickened my pace without turning back. Jiang Shualan's timid voice came from behind. "Brother Yanxi, it seems Xingman Jiajia really doesn't like me." I went to buy a few more things before finally heading home. When I opened the door, I found Lu Yanxi had already prepared dinner. Now that's something you don't see every day. When I got back, Lu Yanxi invited me for dinner. Glancing at the bland dishes on the table, I shook my head. "I've already eaten out." Lu Yanxi's expression froze, but I ignored him and went straight to my room. A few minutes later, Lu Yanxi knocked on my door. I opened it. "What is it?" "We need to talk." "What is there to talk about?" I asked coldly. "Xingnan, are you upset about Shualan?" "I'm only looking after her because of her brother." "That's your business. It has nothing to do with me, so stop bringing it up repeatedly." "Well," noticing my impatience, Lu Yanxi softened his tone. "Xingnan, we're getting married soon. We'll be family. What concerns me concerns you." "Ha. Still treating me like the same old pushover from my past life, aren't they?" I was growing increasingly impatient, utterly repulsed by Lu Yanxi's pretentious act. "Lu Yanxi, have you ever really thought about us? I believe we should seriously reconsider this marriage." I was about to call off the wedding plans with Lu Yanxi when, mid-sentence, a knock interrupted us. Jiang Shualan whimpered tearfully, "Brother Yanxi, I sprained my ankle. It hurts so much." Lu Yanxi helped the injured Jiang Shualan leave, and never returned. Naturally, I didn't wait for him either. After washing up, I locked the door and went to bed. I slept soundly all night, and the first thing I did upon waking was mark a check on the calendar. After freshening up with a refreshing wash, I stepped out to find Lu Yanxi had returned with breakfast, steamed buns, soy milk, and fried dough sticks. Spotting me, he flashed a rare smile and said, "You're up." I gave a quiet and he handed me the food, saying, "This is for you." I took it and began eating in silence as he settled beside me. Last night, Shualan sprained her ankle and then ran a high fever. I was too worried to leave, so I stayed at the hospital with her overnight, as I should. I replied coldly. I'd always greeted him with a smile before, never with such icy detachment. Lu Yanxi seemed unable to take it anymore. "Xingnan, are you mad at me?" "No, really, I'm not. Seriously, nothing to be mad about. We'd be going our separate ways in just over 10 days anyway." Seeing me admit I wasn't angry, Lu Yanxi's smile deepened. "I noticed you bought stationery yesterday. Was that for Shualan? Why don't we deliver it to her together later?" I looked up at him, enunciating each word deliberately. "Lu Yanxi, Jiang Shualan has your attention. That's more than enough. My purchases are for personal use and concern no one else." His expression darkened after that rebuff. Paying no heed to his mood, I stood up. "I need to step out for a bit." I went to the train station to inquire about tickets, since university gets bitterly cold. I bought myself 2 sets of thermal underwear and toiletries before heading home. To my surprise, Lu Yanxi was actually home and even reached out to help when he saw me carrying bags. I dodged his hand and carried them to my room myself. He followed me in, asking, "Your room seems emptier than before." "Got rid of what I don't need." Noticing my coldness, he paused before saying, "The wedding's in a few days. Let me take you shopping tomorrow." "Well, this is a first." I outright refused. "No thanks." Seeing how utterly indifferent and cold I was toward him, Lu Yanxi rubbed his hands together before finally forcing out the words, "There's one more thing I need to discuss with you, about your college plans." I stopped organizing my things and looked up at him quietly. After a pause, Lu Yanxi continued, "Here's what I think. After we're married, you won't have time for college. Since you can't attend anyway, why not voluntarily give up your spot to someone who really needs it?" Lu Yanxi's words left me momentarily stunned, my mind going completely blank. I'd only suspected Jiang Shualan got into college because I withdrew, but after hearing Lu Yanxi say that, I'm practically certain of it now. Those 2 despicable bastards, how dare they? Rage propelled me to my feet as I glared at Lu Yanxi with venom in my eyes, enunciating each word through gritted teeth. "Give it to whom?" Lu Yanxi recoiled in shock. You, what's gotten into you? I'm just trying to discuss this with you. Discuss? I couldn't help but laugh bitterly. In my past life, I'd given him my heart and soul, worshipped the ground he walked on. That's why Lu Yanxi made this decision without even consulting me. I owe him no loyalty in this lifetime. He only brought this up because he had no other choice. Lu Yanxi, how can you be so shameless? I enunciated every word to Lu Yanxi. I won't give up my university spot. Earn your own admission. There's no shortcut through me. Stunned by my intensity, Lu Yanxi stammered, I just thought, with our marriage, you wouldn't have time for university, then let's just call off the wedding. I snarled the words at Lu Yanxi through gritted teeth. His face darkened with fury as he glared at me. Don't push it. You were the one who proposed marriage, and now you're backing out. What do you take me for? What do you think marriage is? What a relief, I scoffed bitterly. Stop pretending. If you had any decency, would you have treated me like that in our past life? It's not the time to burn bridges with Lu Yanxi yet. Biting back my anger, I quickly packed my bag. I need to go home for a few days. Lu Yanxi followed me for a few steps. Why the sudden decision to go home? 5. I miss my parents. Without waiting for his response, I hurried downstairs and left. I planned to stay at home for a while until the new semester begins. My parents were thrilled to see me back home, especially my mom. She kept pulling me aside, prying about every little detail of my relationship with Lu Yanxi. I just laughed it off and dodged her questions, knowing I'd need to gently break the news about not marrying Lu Yanxi eventually. I casually brought up Jiang Shuolan on the 7th day. My mom immediately became alert. A single woman having him take care of her. That's trouble brewing. You'd better hurry back and keep an eye on him. Yanxi is quite the catch. What'll you do if someone snatches him away? Worst case, we break up and I find someone else. Don't talk nonsense. Where on earth would you find another guy like Yanxi with his looks and career? Mom treated Lu Yanxi like the golden goose, refusing to let me stay at home and forcing me to return, so I got kicked out by my mom and had nowhere to go but back to Lu Yanxi's place. When I opened the door and heard noises from my room, I froze. Who'd break in broad daylight? I bolted to my bedroom door, only to gasp at the scene inside. My room was ransacked, every single thing turned upside down. Jiang Shuolan remained oblivious to my presence, rummaging through drawers and boxes in my room, even flipping over the quilt while muttering to herself, how could it not be here? Where on earth did I put it? I snapped sharply. What are you doing? Who gave you permission to go through my things? Startled by my voice, Jiang Shuolan turned around, yet remarkably regained her composure almost instantly upon seeing me. What kind of question is that? Of course Brother Yanxi invited me here, while I was away. Lu Yanxi actually brought Jiang Shuolan to live in our home. That shameless pair really has no boundaries. My eyes burned with rage. Jiang Shuolan, have you no shame? Get out of my room this instant. Jiang Shuolan looked completely unbothered. Oh, are you mad? Let me tell you the truth. While you were gone, Brother Yanxi and I lived together. He treated me so well, making breakfast every morning, cooking dinner at night, even taking me for walks. I must say, Brother Yanxi is incredibly attentive. Suppressing my rage, I sneered. So you're in love with Lu Yanxi, want to marry him? Jiang Shuolan's expression froze momentarily at my blunt exposure of her secret. I glared coldly at her. Don't you know he's getting married? Aren't you ashamed to live with an engaged man? Do you really not care about the gossip? Why should I care? Brother Yanxi and I are a perfect match made in heaven. You should look in the mirror. Are you even worthy of him? That childhood betrothal is just futile nonsense. He told me himself, if it weren't for your parents pressuring him and his filial piety, he'd never marry you. I believe these are Lu Yanxi's true feelings, but that doesn't give Jiang Shuolan the right to use them against me. All this nonsense just boils down to your jealousy over me marrying Lu Yanxi, doesn't it? You say I'm not good enough for him. Fine, I admit I'm not his equal. But are you so sure you're any better suited? Take a good look in the mirror. Right now we're in the same boat, no job, no education, neither of us is superior to the other. Ha. That's just your opinion. I'll be starting university soon, and once I graduate, I'll be on equal footing with Yanxi while you'll remain nothing. I stared at her coldly. Starting university? Which prestigious institution would that be? Where's your acceptance letter? Care to show it to me? Jiang Shuolan was caught off guard by my question, stammering, why should I show you? Unlike you, I'm definitely going to college. Just wait and see. Panic flickered across Jiang Shuolan's face, though she tried to appear composed. Her darting eyes gave her away. She must be up to something shady. What in my room could possibly be worth this risk? I glared at my ransacked room, then at Jiang Shuolan's vile expression. I feel sick to my stomach. How could anyone be so shameless? I glared coldly at Jiang Shuolan. Get out right now. What are you gonna do if I don't? Jiang Shualan taunted me. Brother Yancy asked me to move in. He said he'd take care of me personally, that he's sick of you, that the sight of you makes him nauseous. The words of young Jiang Shualan overlapped with those of her 50-year-old self. Shameless people never change their ways, not in this life nor the last, I scoffed. Lu Yancy actually told you such things. You two must be truly kindred spirits. Of course, Brother Yancy doesn't love you. He only agreed to marry you under pressure. If you had any self-respect, you'd withdraw voluntarily instead of making things difficult for him. What gives you the right to tell me to back off? Who do you think you are? If we're talking about shamelessness, you take the crown without competition. At least I'm Lu Yancy's rightful fiancé. What exactly are you? I glared at Jiang Shualan and enunciated every word. Jiang Shualan, I know exactly what's going through your mind. You're just waiting for my absence to crawl into Lu Yancy's bed, aren't you? Your whole face screams, I want to sleep with Lu Yancy. Do you think people can't see through you? Listen here. You vile creature. I won't let you get away with this. Exposed so bluntly, Jiang Shualan flushed crimson with rage and lunged at me to strike. There was no way I'd let her hit me. A quick sidestep sent her tumbling to the floor with a thud. Before I could savor the sight of her humiliating faceplant, Jiang Shualan's wails pierced the air. Wah, you're bullying me. It hurts so bad. Her lightning-fast change of expression stunned me. Before I could process it, Lu Yancy's stormy face appeared. Jiang Shualan made her accusation right in front of me. The moment sister came back, she started cursing me without reason, called me shameless for seducing you. When I talked back, she hit me. Look at all these bruises. Wah. Lu Yancy bought her story completely, veins bulging on his forehead as he roared at me. Li Xingnan, how could you go this far? Jiang Shualan feigned injury, and Lu Yancy carried her away with visible distress. The room fell silent as I stared at the chaotic mess on the floor, my emotions in turmoil. I always believed it was only after I married Lu Yancy and gave up my university spot that Jiang Shualan got the chance to attend college. But if that's the case, why was Jiang Shualan rummaging through my belongings like a thief? There's nothing in my room except the admission letter and ration coupons. 6. Jiang Shualan definitely isn't rummaging around to steal money or coupons. After all, Lu Yancy gives her half his salary. She wouldn't stoop to stealing, so could she be looking for my admission letter? Why was she looking for my college admission letter? A thought I'd never considered suddenly occurred to me. Could it be that Jiang Shualan got into college not because I withdrew and freed up a spot, but by stealing my identity? No wonder my admission letter mysteriously disappeared from the trunk in my past life. Since I'd given up on college in my past life, I didn't think much about not finding the admission letter. Looking back now, could Jiang Shualan have used my admission letter to attend university under my name? College admissions weren't as strict back then. It's entirely possible Jiang Shualan impersonated me. I also remember Lu Yancy would follow Jiang Shualan wherever her job took her. Could it be that in their past lives, they were actually living together as husband and wife all along? I was trapped at home my entire life, so I never learned the truth until the day I died. I won't let history repeat itself in this lifetime. Lu Yancy came home very late and immediately knocked on my door. Xingnan, we need to talk. I opened the door. What's this about? Jiang Shualan, I didn't hit her. She was rummaging through my things, so I told her to leave. Then she attacked me first and ended up tripping over her own feet. I've got a voice for a reason. No way I'm staying silent just to get framed by Jiang Shualan and interrogated by Lu Yancy. I'm laying out the facts up front. Whether he believes me is his call. To my surprise, Lu Yancy showed no intention of standing up for Jiang Shualan. There's nothing between Jiang Shualan and me, Lu Yancy sighed, reaching for my hand. I took several steps back to avoid his touch. His face registered shock. After all, I'd been shamelessly clinging to him before. I'd happily grab his hand even when he didn't offer it, so why would I refuse when he initiated? My bluntness left Lu Yancy speechless, a wounded expression crossing his face. Xingnan, there's nothing between me and Jiang Shualan. I only see her as a younger sister. Don't overthink it. Really, I sneered at Lu Yancy. Had I not gone through those things in my past life, I might have believed him, but now, I don't trust a single word he says. Xingnan, whether you believe me or not, I need to tell you, you're the only one I want to marry. My care for Jiang Shualan is purely out of responsibility. She won't be staying here long. She'll soon leave for university. Could you please, for my sake, try to get along with her for a while? My doubts remained unresolved. Did Jiang Shualan take my university spot by replacing me, or did she outright steal my admission letter to assume my identity? Does Lu Yancy know about this? Could he have personally orchestrated all this? Even if Jiang Shualan got hold of my admission letter, she'd still need forged documents to impersonate me, right? Jiang Shualan definitely couldn't obtain those documents alone, but with Lu Yanxi's help, that's a different story. At this thought, I asked casually, which university did Jiang Shualan attend? Shualan said. It was University A, so we went to the same school. I added, did you see her admission letter? Actually no, but Shualan had excellent grades. Getting into University A was only natural for her. Lu Yanxi's expression looks completely normal, with no telltale signs of lying. Then again, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. He wore the same poker face when deceiving me in our past life. I need to get to the bottom of Jiang Shualan's college situation to find out whether Jiang Shualan got into university. I just need to ask around. Jiang Shualan has quite a few relatives from her hometown living around here. I'll ask around tomorrow to get the details. Early the next morning, I was awakened by knocking at my door. When I opened the door, Lu Yanxi was standing there. Breakfast is ready, he said. Come eat. I gave a curt nod and went to wash up with visible indifference. Lu Yanxi trailed behind me, making small talk. What do those check marks on your calendar mean? Nothing special. Noticing my cold shoulder, Lu Yanxi kept his eyes fixed on me. I pretended not to notice, brushing past him to sit down and start breakfast. Lu Yanxi sat down as well, watching me while having breakfast. He clearly had something to say, but I had nothing to discuss with him. After quickly finishing breakfast, I stood up. I need to step out for something. I'll come with, Lu Yanxi unexpectedly offered. But I didn't give him the chance. Why don't you go check on Jiang Shualan, see if she's had breakfast or needs your help? You did promise her brother you'd look after her. If anything happens to her, you'll have hell to pay. Without waiting to see Lu Yanxi's reaction, I turned and walked away briskly. I sought out fellow soldiers from Jiang Shualan's hometown to inquire about her family situation. Her brother was a martyr, quite well known, actually. That's how I managed to get the information. The person who told me this was a military dependent, quite close to Aunt Wu. I know the Jiang family. Their son is an absolute gem. Everyone sings his praises. But Jiang Shualan and her mother, they're downright despicable. The military spouse informed me that both Jiang's mother and Jiang Shualan have terrible character. Jiang Shualan dropped out of middle school and started running wild. With that kind of background, how could she even think about college? What a joke. Is that true? I pressed. Would I lie? Jiang Shualan was in the same class as my youngest son. Her grades were abysmal. She dropped out before finishing middle school. Besides, she broke her leg in a bike accident during the college entrance exams and was bedridden the whole time. How could she possibly have taken the tests? It's not just me who knows this. Several military dependents can vouch for it. So there's no way Jiang Shualan, who didn't even graduate from middle school, could have taken the college entrance exams. And without those exams, how could she possibly qualify for university? The answer was already clear to me. I came home in a bad mood only to find Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shualan both there. Jiang Shualan's eyes were red, as if she'd been crying. Without a word, I walked past them straight to my room. A few minutes later, Lu Yanxi came knocking at my door. As soon as I opened the door and saw him, I asked, "Did you submit our marriage application?" Caught off guard by his question, I instinctively replied, "Yeah, I did." Lu Yanxi looked at me and said, "It's been so long since we submitted it. There should have been some response by now. It should have been approved already." My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly interjected, "I'll go check on it." Lu Yanxi didn't agree. "Let's go ask together," he said. "We can also pick up some wedding supplies while we're out." I couldn't think of a good excuse to refuse. If we actually went to ask, my cover would be blown. I needed to find a way to dodge this. Lost in thought, Lu Yanxi added, "I just spoke with Shualan. I plan to send her home in a few days." I looked up at him in surprise. "Why?" After careful consideration, "I don't blame you for being upset. It really wasn't appropriate for me to be taking care of an unmarried girl like Shualan." When Lu Yanxi said this, I thought he'd finally realized his mistake, until his next words sent chills down my spine. 7. Xingnan, there's something you should know. Shualan wants to attend university, but she didn't pass the entrance exam. She's hoping to use your admission spot. I stared at Lu Yanxi in silence. He'd clearly rehearsed every word of this. I figured since we're getting married soon, you wouldn't need to go to college anyway. I owed Shualan's brother a favor, so this seemed like a good way to repay it and avoid any misunderstandings. I clenched my fists, barely restraining the urge to slap Lu Yanxi. "How exactly?" "I heard her grades are so poor she wouldn't even qualify for college admission." After a brief silence, Lu Yanxi replied, "Shualan suggested she'd attend university under your name." I'd already guessed their intentions, but hearing Lu Yanxi say those words with my own ears still left me in disbelief. I asked slowly, enunciating each word, using my identity to attend university, impersonation. Don't you know that's illegal? Lu Yanxi was taken aback by my question. After a long silence, he finally said, if you don't tell, I don't tell, and Shualan doesn't tell, no one should ever find out. And what if someone does find out? Walls have ears in this world. Besides, you're a military officer, how do you think people will view you for this fraud? Do you even want to keep your position? Hearing this, Lu Yanxi fell silent, when weighed against his own future. I believe he'll make his own judgment. Turns out I overthought it. Love conquered all. Lu Yanxi must have loved Jiang Shualan deeply, willing to risk everything for her. After several minutes of silence, he actually started persuading me again. Xingnan, if the three of us take this secret to our graves, nothing will come of it. I never imagined Lu Yanxi would abandon his principles like this for Jiang Shualan. I couldn't hold back my anger anymore. I absolutely refused to agree to this. Over my dead body, why should I repay the favor you owe? I won't give my spot to Jiang Shualan, not to anyone. My conversation with Lu Yanxi ended in discord. A knot of resentment tightened in my chest. Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shualan's shamelessness infuriated me. In my past life, they pulled this stunt behind my back, keeping me in the dark until my dying day. Now that I'm on guard, they've actually approached me themselves, expecting me to slave away for them again. They're dreaming. I can't stand another minute with Lu Yanxi, no matter what. I'm confronting him about this. I won't marry him. Consider the wedding called off. He can keep playing his games with Jiang Shualan. I won't waste another thought on either of them. Just as I finished packing to leave, Jiang Shualan showed up. She barged in demanding, Li Xingnan, Brother Yanxi sent me to collect your university acceptance letter. I sneered at her. Why should I give you my admission letter? Didn't Brother Yanxi tell you? Jiang Shualan looked down at me condescendingly. He doesn't like you but is being forced to marry you. If you don't hand over your admission letter, forget about marrying him. Who said I want to marry Lu Yanxi? Anyone who wants this spineless trash can have him. I certainly don't. I enunciated each word clearly to Jiang Shualan. Take the man if you want him, but as for my college admission letter, don't even dream about it. I won't let a despicable piece of trash like you get your hands on it. Jiang Shualan flushed with rage and pointed at me, ready to trade insults, but suddenly changed her tone. Xingnan, I swear there's nothing between me and Yanxi. How could you accuse us like this? I couldn't care less about your affairs. You two hypocritical, despicable pieces of trash deserve each other. Stay locked together and stop poisoning the world. As I finished cursing, I saw Lu Yanxi storming toward me, his teeth gritted. Li Xingnan, what the hell are you doing? Why haven't you submitted our marriage application? I never expected him to actually check about the marriage paperwork. At this point, there was nothing left to say. Don't pretend you don't know why I refused to submit the marriage application, expecting me to marry you and give up my university spot for Jiang Shualan. How shameless can you be? What makes you so special that I'd sacrifice my education for you? Listen clearly, Lu Yanxi. I'll never marry you. Neither you nor that Jiang Shualan will ever lay hands on my college admission letter, not even over my dead body. I expected Lu Yanxi to fly into a rage after this confrontation, but to my surprise, he remained eerily calm. It was Jiang Shualan who lost her temper. With pitiable tears, she whimpered, Brother Yanxi, you promised to take care of me. You gave my brother your word you'd look after me. I glared coldly at the despicable pair. Whatever you two do is none of my concern. I'm leaving now. Lu Yanxi, our engagement is officially over. Lu Yanxi frantically stopped me. Xingnan, it's not what you think. Let me explain. In front of Jiang Shualan, Lu Yanxi declared firmly, I only take care of Jiang Shualan because I promised her brother. I have no romantic feelings for her. The only person I want to marry is you. Oh really? Wasn't it about repaying her by handing over my college admission letter for her to impersonate me? I didn't believe a single word Lu Yanxi said. Lu Yanxi, let's lay all the cards on the table. I don't care what you do with Jiang Shualan. All I want now is to break off our engagement. My stance was unshakable, and Lu Yanxi visibly panicked. He sharply ordered Jiang Shualan to leave, intending to placate me, but my mind was made up. I packed my things without hesitation and walked out. I checked into a motel, only for Lu Yanxi to follow and demand a conversation. I didn't open the door, so Lu Yanxi stood outside talking to me through it. He admitted he was wrong and begged for my forgiveness, but no matter what he said, I remained unmoved, left with no choice. Lu Yanxi promised from outside that he'd send Jiang Shualan away. His promises meant nothing to me now. I'd made up my mind to call off this engagement, even if it meant causing a huge scene. I just never expected the world to turn upside down overnight. The next morning, I was jolted awake by Aunt Wu knocking on my door. Xingnan, it's a Disaster, Jiang Shuolan and your fiancé were caught in the act. Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shuolan were caught in bed together, both completely naked. This was no trivial matter, and word quickly spread throughout the entire compound. Rumor has it that Lu Yanxi somehow forced himself on Jiang Shuolan last night. Then a military dependent from the compound knocked on the door and caught them in the act. Jiang Shuolan woke up sobbing uncontrollably, demanding to see the authorities. When I arrived, I saw Jiang Shuolan with swollen, red eyes still crying there, the very picture of a victim. Meanwhile, Lu Yanxi stood with a darkened expression, looking as if he'd just bitten into something vile. Spotting me among the onlookers, Lu Yanxi opened his mouth to speak to me. But with so many people between us, the words never came out. A scandal of this magnitude is no trivial matter. This is an inappropriate relationship that warrants dismissal. Fortunately, though Lu Yanxi and I were engaged, I never submitted our marriage application. As the victim, if I don't make a fuss, it won't count as an improper affair. The higher-ups intervened to protect Lu Yanxi. By having him marry Jiang Shuolan quietly, they swept the whole matter under the rug. On the day I left for my assignment, Lu Yanxi somehow got wind of it and showed up at the train station. I'm sorry, Xingnan, I never meant to betray you. I'd already made things clear with her and bought train tickets to send Jiang Shuolan away the next day. I don't know how this could have happened. He was beating his chest in remorse, but his apology left me completely cold. I'm actually grateful you two got together. You gave me the perfect out. My thanks to you and Jiang Shuolan. If Jiang Shuolan hadn't pulled this stunt, breaking off my engagement with Lu Yanxi wouldn't have been nearly this easy. After all, my parents think highly of Lu Yanxi. They'd never let go of such an ideal son-in-law no matter what. Lu Yanxi's affair with Jiang Shuolan actually worked in my favor. I came out on top. No need to deal with parental pressure. And I even gained sympathy points. Lu Yanxi turned deathly pale. Xingnan, you're the only one I love. I swear it's only you. The unattainable always seems most desirable. Lu Yanxi kept insisting it was me he truly loved. He said he knew I hadn't submitted the marriage application, that he'd file it himself. He genuinely wanted to spend his life with me, but I refused to relive that life. My previous existence was pure torment. If rebirth means repeating that hell, I'd rather die without another word to Lu Yanxi. I walked straight into the departure lounge without looking back. College life was fulfilling and hectic, with a completely different trajectory from my past life that made me devote myself wholeheartedly to studies. The university years flew by, and I was assigned to an excellent government agency upon graduation. During a visit to my parents, I unexpectedly ran into Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shuolan. Unlike his meteoric rise to high office in the previous life, Lu Yanxi had left the military to return home and farm. Rumor has it that after marrying Jiang Shuolan, their relationship turned sour. She constantly made scenes and caused such turmoil that Lu Yanxi couldn't focus on his work. Jiang Shuolan was extremely distrustful of Lu Yanxi. The moment he interacted with any woman, she'd suspect him of infidelity. With all this relentless drama, Lu Yanxi eventually lost his job. In his previous life, he climbed the ladder of success effortlessly, yet never cared for his parents, me, as his wife, or our children. Because of Jiang Shuolan, he finally stayed with his parents this lifetime, but endless farm work and her daily tantrums aged Lu Yanxi by a decade. We had a brief encounter at the station before I turned and walked away without hesitation. My parents told me countless stories about Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shuolan. Those two were always at each other's throats. The Lu household was basically a battlefield, major fights every 3 days, minor squabbles every 2. Jiang Shuolan refused to do any housework and showed no filial piety towards Lu Yanxi's parents. She despised Lu Yanxi's parents for being ill and found them repulsively unclean. Rumor has it Jiang Shuolan would scream during arguments. This wasn't supposed to happen. My previous life was completely different. How did it come to this? It's all because you're spineless. She claimed Lu Yanxi held high-ranking official positions while she herself worked a cushy government job without lifting a finger. Everyone mocked Jiang Shuolan for daydreaming. Given her circumstances with Lu Yanxi, such good fortune only existed in fantasies. I listened to my parents in silence, a suspicion forming in my mind. Could Jiang Shuolan have been reborn too? Convinced by her past life's trajectory that marrying Lu Yanxi would bring prosperity, she took the desperate gamble. She tried to steal my admission letter beforehand to take my place, but when she couldn't find it on me, she attempted to manipulate Lu Yanxi instead. She assumed I was blindly devoted to Lu Yanxi and would agree to anything he asked. Little did she expect that I'd refuse Lu Yanxi, let alone that he would decide to send her away. That's why she staged this whole "the thief cries stop thief" charade. On the day I left, Lu Yanxi stopped me at the village entrance. I had a dream, Xingnan. In our past life we were married, we even had a child together. And then, I stared at him coldly. I wronged you. Nothing ever happened between me and Jiang. Shualan, she stole your college admission letter to impersonate you, then blackmailed me into forging documents. Like a fool, I agreed. After that, she haunted me like a vengeful ghost, threatening to expose me whenever I refused her demands. Lu Yanxi clutched his own hair. I've been under her threat for decades, right until you left. I don't understand how things came to this. I didn't wait to hear the rest, just turned and walked away. Water under the bridge. I've long since let go of past lives and old grudges. To forgive others is to free yourself. After all, people like Lu Yanxi and Jiang Shualan aren't worth remembering forever. Story 2. I was reborn on the day I was supposed to donate a kidney to the wealthy man. My younger sister yanked me off the operating table, shouting, "Sis can't donate, I'll do it instead." Then I realized, my sister had been reborn too in my past life. I married the wealthy man who survived thanks to my kidney, becoming a pampered socialite. My jealous sister, bitter about her miserable life, pushed me off a skyscraper. This time, as my sister lay triumphantly on the operating table, she sneered, "Sis, now it's my turn to marry Zhou Ting and become the young mistress of the wealthy family." I smirked coldly. She never knew my greatest regret last lifetime was marrying Zhou Ting, that psychologically twisted monster. 1. Don't move. Didn't you agree to trade a kidney for $1 million? Too late for regrets now. I woke up lying on an operating table. The private doctor's icy voice came from above me. I suddenly realized I'd been reborn, back to the day my family forced me to donate a kidney. The anesthesia had taken effect, leaving me too weak to resist. The cold scalpel slowly glided across my skin just as I lost all hope. My younger sister burst into the room. She dragged me off the operating table and took my place. If my sister can't donate, I will. I froze. This plot twist wasn't in my last life script. 2. My little sister's dream is to marry into money. In our past lives, she schemed to study abroad with her trust fund boyfriend, terrified some foreign floozy would steal him away. She conspired with her doting parents to stage an elaborate charade, coercing me into donating a kidney to Zhou Ting in exchange for $1 million. Later, I married Zhou Ting and became a wealthy socialite. But that silver spoon heir never married my sister. He kept her as his mistress instead. At champagne-filled galas, as the lady of the house, I basked in the spotlight like the moon surrounded by stars. My sister was being beaten up by the rich heir's wife. Who do you think you are? Some kind of socialite? How dare you show your face at this kind of party? Get lost. If I ever see you in a place like this again, I'll beat you every single time. Through the crowd, my sister glared at me with burning envy. After the banquet, my disheveled sister confronted me. Bitter resentment dripped from her voice. "Jiao Shui, I'm prettier and sweeter tongue than you, clearly more suited to be a wealthy matriarch. Just bad luck. I thought Zhou Ting, that doomed wretch, wouldn't last long, so I passed him over." Her eyes flicked to my flat stomach. "I'm more fertile too, if not 4. As if recalling something unpleasant, she hissed through gritted teeth, "In short, you barren hen aren't fit to be the Zhou family's young mistress." Blinded by resentment, she pushed me off the high-rise building. Instinctively, I grabbed her dress, dragging her down with me in death. 3. My parents rushed into the operating room shortly after. They coaxed, "Jiao Jiao, don't be willful. Donating a kidney would harm your health. Let your sister do it instead." I curled my lips bitterly. These were my parents, though we're both their daughters. They couldn't bear to see Jiao Jiao suffer the slightest harm, yet wouldn't spare a thought for my life to fund her study abroad. My mother even lied about me being ill, pressuring me to sell my kidney for her treatment. Jiao refused to back down. "It's fine, I've done my research. People have 2 kidneys, losing one won't affect your health much. You just can't do heavy labor. Your daughter was born to live comfortably anyway, she won't need to lift a finger." But, Jiao cut them off impatiently. "No buts, Mom and Dad, the Zhous are a powerful family. If they take my kidney, they'll owe me. Whenever our family needs help in the future, all I have to do is ask. They'll have to return the favor." She shot me a glance. "Jiao Shui has no conscience like I do, Mom, don't you remember, when you said you were seriously ill and needed money for chemo?" She still made excuses instead of donating a kidney for that $1 million. "If she ever makes it big someday, you really think she'll remember you?" I sneered. Did they really not understand why I kept making excuses? Since childhood, my parents always favored Jiao while treating me with nothing but scolding and beatings. In my view, since Jiao reaped all the maternal love, if our mother truly needed money from selling a kidney, it shouldn't have fallen on me to donate. Clearly, they thought differently. They brought in journalists to expose me, hung banners at my school, and branded me an ungrateful wretch who cared nothing for my mother's life. The public shaming left me no choice but to give up that kidney. Mom and Dad always listened to my sister. Jiao Jiao, are you absolutely sure about this? Jiao 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 nodded, and just like that, Jiao 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 got her wish, lying on the operating table. Before I left, she smirked triumphantly and said loud enough for me to hear, "Sister, this time it's my turn to marry Zhou Ting and become the young mistress of a wealthy family." The moment I heard those words, everything became crystal clear. It wasn't just me who got a second chance. Jiao 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 did too. Little did Jiao 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 know, being the young mistress of the Zhou family came with its own nightmares. Zhou Ting only married me to use me as a walking organ bank. Years of illness had taken a toll on his mental health as well. To outsiders, he appeared as a gentle and refined gentleman, but in truth, he was a sadist who envied my healthy body and tormented me in every way possible. I smiled as the operating room door slowly closed. Now it's your turn, dear sister, for I returned to school and devoted all my energy to studying, making up for the regret from my past life where kidney donation and subsequent wound infection disrupted my senior year preparation, causing me to miss out on a top university. My school life became busy yet fulfilling. Things weren't going so smoothly for Zhao Jiao Jiao. She followed the same painful path I once walked, tormented by wound infections, suffering unbearable pain with recurring high fevers. My parents were so frantic they took extended leave from work just to care for her. When I had the same infected wound in my past life, I never received such royal treatment. After pocketing the million from the Zhous, my parents abandoned me at the hospital. Without a second thought, even when doctors warned them about my critical condition, they never visited, just cursed me for being a burden and left me to rot in that hospital bed. In the end, it was Zhou Ting's parents who hired a caregiver for me, probably only because I still had some use to them. Sometimes I seriously wonder if I'm even their biological child. During Zhao Jiao Jiao's hospitalization, my parents had me deliver some clean clothes to them, which was the only time I saw them. My parents had lost significant weight, with dark circles under their eyes. Clearly, being caregivers had taken its toll. Zhao Jiao Jiao looked utterly drained, a far cry from her usual vibrant self. That's what losing a kidney does. They say it won't affect your health, but you'll feel significantly weaker. In my past life, I'd be panting after just 5 flights of stairs, and even lifting light objects felt exhausting. Now I can run 3 laps around the track without breaking a sweat. Zhao Shui, you must be thrilled to see me suffering, aren't you? Zhao Jiao Jiao said with relish. Life's bitterness always precedes its sweetness. Let me tell you, during my hospital stay, I confessed to Zhou Ting, and he accepted. My golden days are yet to come. I froze, never expecting them to get entangled so quickly. Zhao Jiao Jiao added, you must be drowning in regret now. Too late. Good riddance. Those 2 troublemakers deserve each other. At least they'll stay out of my hair now. A month before the college entrance exams, Zhao Jiao Jiao returned to school arm in arm with Zhou Ting, their intimacy on full display. Zhou Ting even transferred to our class just for her. When Zhao Jiao Jiao spotted me, she clung tighter to Zhou Ting's arm as if I might snatch him away. Her voice dripped with apprehension and disgust. What awful luck, Zhou Ting asked her. Jiao Jiao, what's wrong? Zhao Jiao Jiao shot me a glance, the corners of her lips curling slightly. Immediately, I had a bad feeling about this. 5 Zhao Jiao Jiao tattled to Zhou Ting. Zhou Ting, you don't know this, but originally it was supposed to be your sister who donated her kidney to you. She chickened out on the operating table at the last minute. I stepped up without hesitation and gave you my kidney instead. If it weren't for me, you'd still be lying in that hospital bed right now. Zhou Ting had been sickly since childhood, with several near-death experiences where doctors barely managed to pull him back from the brink. His hatred for those who jeopardized his health ran bone deep. He violently kicked over my desk, snarling with malice. These days, any worthless trash thinks they can waltz into our school. When the Zhou family's sole heir flew into a rage, not a single soul dared speak up in my defense. After all, his family donated several academic buildings to the school. Even the principal speaks to him with deference. One bespectacled guy in class was practically stirring the pot. If I recall correctly, Zhao Shui's mother is critically ill and desperately needs that million from her kidney sale. Now that she's run off, her mom's lifeline is gone. What an ungrateful wretch. Shouldn't trash like her be kicked out of our class? The moment he finished speaking, the other students' gazes toward me grew noticeably more contemptuous. The bespectacled guy shot me a glance, his eyes brimming with malice. He might not have been the worst person I encountered in my past life, but Chen Wang was hands down the most repulsive classmate, being short and scrawny. He'd been bullied multiple times by the class troublemakers. Once when I helped him out, He mistook it for romantic interest and publicly confessed to me. I politely turned him down. From that moment on, he held a grudge against me. Back when I refused to sell my kidney for money, my mother faked an illness and caused a scene at my school. Chen Wang took photos of the incident, posted them on the school forum and other social media platforms, spreading malicious rumors to smear my reputation. The online harassment and constant pointing fingers at school eventually forced me to donate the kidney later. When I married Zhou Ting and started what he considered a good life, he still wouldn't let me go. Chen Wang somehow got hold of Zhou Ting's phone number and sent him AI-generated fake photos, accusing me of being unfaithful. What greeted me was yet another brutal beating from Zhou Ting. After that incident, I had someone investigate and found out Chen Wang was the one who framed me. Everyone around him says he's a decent, down-to-earth guy, not exceptional, but reliable and kind-hearted. He has a steady, ordinary job and a fiancée he's planning to marry. In truth, he was like a sewer rat, secretly taking upskirt photos of women in various settings and spreading malicious rumors about accomplished females through anonymous accounts, driving some victims into depression. I compiled all his disgusting actions and perverted remarks into a dossier and sent it to everyone in his social circle. Later I heard he lost his job, his engagement fell through, even got embroiled in lawsuits, becoming literal vermin that everyone wanted to stomp on. Now there's Chen Wang, still young but equally repulsive. He's been covertly taking upskirt photos of female classmates with his phone, including Zhao Jiao. I've been so busy with studies lately that I completely forgot about this matter. Now that he's acting up again, all those disgusting things he did came flooding back to my mind. While Chen Wang was fanning the flames and trying to get Zhou Ting to teach me a lesson, I'd already quietly made my way to his desk and taken his phone. Chen Wang's face darkened. Zhao Shui, don't you dare touch my phone. It was already too late. How come your album is full of upskirt photos of girls, and you even have my sister's pictures? I gasped. Chen Wang, my sister is Zhou Ting's girlfriend. How dare you set your sights on her? Chen Wang's face instantly turned ashen. The classmates stared at him in shock. Holy shit, Chen Wang always seemed so decent. How could he do something like this? How disgusting. Chen Wang should be the one kicked out of our class. This needs to be exposed. Let everyone see his revolting true colors. Chen Wang broke into a cold sweat and sobbed in terror. Please don't do this. If it gets out, everyone will crucify me. My life will be over. See, even Chen Wang understands how terrifying public opinion can be. He never understood the pain until the rod struck his own back. The bullet he once fired at me eventually found its way back to his own skull. Just as I predicted, Zhou Ting greeted him with fists falling like hailstones. Zhou Ting was inherently arrogant, looking down on everyone with an insatiable need for control. He never treated Zhao Jiao as an equal. She was just his property, and nothing infuriated him more than others coveting what was his. Chen Wang secretly took intimate photos of Zhao Jiao. No wonder Zhou Ting beat him up. Chen Wang didn't dare fight back, just took the beating while begging for mercy. Watching this unfold, Zhao Jiao smiled sweetly and said to me, see that, Zhou Ting's fighting for me. Men look so hot when they throw punches. Handsome. This is clearly emotional instability. If Zhou Ting could hit Chen Wang on a whim today, he could just as easily turn on her tomorrow. The fight only ended when Zhou Ting was too exhausted to continue. Zhao Jiao quickly handed Zhou Ting a towel. You must be tired. Here, wipe your sweat. Zhou Ting wiped the sweat off, his sinister gaze settling on me. Now, it's your turn. I hadn't expected Zhou Ting to hold such a grudge. Still remembering Zhao Jiao's recent slander against me, facing his violent stare, I remained surprisingly calm inside. After all, the tactic of redirecting trouble to others is something I've used before, and can use again. I shot a glance at the smug Zhao Jiao and calmly stated, let me clarify something. My mother is perfectly healthy. She's not ill at all. They faked her illness to pressure me into selling my kidney. That million yuan was meant to fund Zhao Jiao's study abroad, so she could join her trust fund boyfriend overseas. Zhou Ting indeed lost the energy to target me. His expression darkened as he turned to Zhao Jiao. Jiao, care to explain? 6. Panic flashed across Zhao Jiao's face. Her wealthy boyfriend attended an elite private school, and apart from me, no one knew about their relationship. After getting together with Zhou Ting, Zhao Jiao broke up with her wealthy boyfriend, but the guy couldn't handle being dumped. His pride was wounded, and he kept harassing her. She knew perfectly well that while Zhou Ting was easygoing, he'd never tolerate her toying with his feelings. Digging her nails into her palm, Zhao Jiao quickly regained composure. Zhou Ting, I don't have a boyfriend. I donated my kidney because I like you. Don't listen to her nonsense. She paused before continuing. As for my mother, she wasn't actually sick, the hospital misdiagnosed her. Really? Zhao Jiao nodded eagerly. Zhou Ting gently stroked her cheek, his voice icy. You're not lying to me, Zhao Jiao declared firmly. I would never lie to you. My sister just can't stand seeing us together, so she made up these lies to drive a wedge between us, fearing I might say something else to her disadvantage. She hastily interjected, but Zhou Ting, please spare her. After all, she's my sister. You're just too kind-hearted for your own good, Zhao Jiao said with a laugh. Isn't that exactly what you love about me, my kindness? Zhou Ting gave her a meaningful look, the corner of his mouth quirking up. You're absolutely right, he said. Let's consider this matter closed. After tidying up the desk, I went to the restroom, and Zhao Jiao followed me. She gloated. See, Zhou Ting dotes on me now and does whatever I say. Just wait and see. With the right choices, my life won't be worse than yours, I replied indifferently. Whatever makes you happy. In my past life, when I first met Zhou Ting, he treated me exceptionally well, attending to my every need with meticulous care, so when he proposed, I accepted without a second thought. After marriage, his violent nature surfaced. He'd lay hands on me at the slightest disagreement. Eventually, I realized his kindness was just a ruse to marry me and turn me into his personal organ bank. Multiple organs in his body show signs of deterioration. And coincidentally, I'm a perfect match for all of them. Zhou Ting is like a piece of candy, beautifully wrapped on the outside, but filled with viscous poison within. Zhao Jiao mistakenly thought I still had lingering feelings for Zhou Ting. Zhao Shui, it's too late for regrets now. Zhou Ting is mine, and I won't let you take him away. Don't worry, all I care about now is focusing on my studies. As long as you don't provoke me, I won't say anything inappropriate in front of him. Zhao Jiao sneered. You'd better keep your word. After that confrontation, Zhao Jiao didn't dare to bother me again, but the way she looked at me was full of wariness. Terrified I might steal her precious Zhou Ting, I found it amusing. No one but Zhao Jiao would treat trash like Zhou Ting as treasure. Zhou Ting didn't give me any trouble either. He'd just recovered and doctors had ordered him to rest. After that fight with Chen Wang, he started coughing up blood and was readmitted to the hospital. The Zhou family took their anger out on Chen Wang, exposing his dirty secrets and pressuring the school until he was forced to drop out. All in all, my school life remained relatively peaceful, but 2 days before the college entrance exams, everything changed. Just 2 days before the college entrance exams, our school gave us seniors time off to study at home. After Zhao Jiao hooked up with Zhou Ting, she never cracked open a book again. She said Zhou Ting had promised to take her abroad for studies. Why bother hitting the books when she could just focus on him? Who needs some mythical book-smart beauty? Marrying Zhou Ting meant she'd have it all. So after coming home for the holidays, instead of studying, she spent all her time dating Zhou Ting, who had just been discharged from the hospital. One day, she came home with a slap mark on her face. My parents were heartbroken when they saw it and immediately asked what happened. Zhao Jiao pointed the finger at me. It's all Zhao Shui's fault. She told Zhou Ting about my ex-boyfriend. When Zhou Ting dug up details about my past with that guy, he got angry and taught me a lesson. My father raised his hand to hit me, but my mother stopped him. Don't you dare lay a finger on Zhao Shui. She bit back her words and shot my father a meaningful look, as if remembering something. My father immediately lowered his hand, though I dodged a bullet. My heart sank like a stone. This is completely out of character. Knowing my mother, she'd never stop my father from hitting me. She'd actually pour fuel on the fire. She'd often say, I should have drowned you in the toilet right after you were born. Spare us all the misery of raising a cursed burden like you. But this time, they just shot me a vicious glare before turning their attention to Jiao, whose cheeks were flushed pink. Jiao, does it hurt? Let mom and dad take you to the hospital. I'm fine now, they pleaded. Jiao, break up with Zhou Ting. He's not right for you. No. Despite being beaten by Zhou Ting, Zhao Jiao defended him. Mom, Dad, Zhou Ting's usually so good to me. He's never laid a hand on me before, but he did hit you. Zhou Ting only hits me because he cares. Besides, he knows his limits. It didn't even hurt that much. Jiao flashed a blissful smile, looking every bit the love-struck fool who believed affection could numb all pain. My father sighed. Never mind. Your happiness is what matters most, Jiao. You must be hungry. Let me cook you something nice. My mom stood up too. I'll get you some ointment. Just apply it for half a day and the swelling will go down. Our precious Jiao will be her pretty little self again in no time. My parents were bending over backwards to cheer her up. With no attention left for me, I retreated to my room, narrowly avoiding trouble, yet feeling uneasy inside. The half-reviewed textbook lay on my desk, but I couldn't focus on a single word. The image of my Mother stopping my father from hitting me keeps replaying in my mind, along with her pleading, honey, you can't hit Zhao Shui, why shouldn't they hit me? They've never liked me anyway, always being rough with me without holding back. This time would be no different. Could it be because I'm about to take the college entrance exams, and they don't want to affect my performance? Impossible. If they truly wanted me to get into university, they wouldn't have made me donate a kidney to Zhou Ting during the most critical year of high school. Feeling restless, my gaze drifted to the window where a girl was selling gardenias. Big brother, why not buy a string for your girlfriend? They smell wonderful, wilted and pathetic. I wouldn't take them even if they were free. Some strange impulse made me think of myself. Are my parents not hitting me because they're planning to sell me off? A bruised face would lower my market value to decent families. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. If they'd force me to sell a kidney for the Zhou family's million without caring about my health, selling me outright would be child's play to them. As for the motive, 9 times out of 10 it was about Zhao Jiao. Zhao Jiao was terrified I'd change my mind and seduce Zhou Ting. If I got married, I'd no longer be a threat to her. The thought made me too anxious to stay home a moment longer. Grabbing my ID, exam admission ticket, and the little savings I'd scraped together over the years, I headed for the door. Outside the room, my dad was cooking while my mom and Zhao Jiao watched TV, the picture-perfect family scene making me feel like an outsider. Maybe it's for the best. No one would pay me any attention anyway. Just as I reached the door, my mom suddenly called out, Zhao Shui, where do you think you're going? Holding up the trash bag, I replied without batting an eye, taking out the garbage. She walked over and took the trash bag from my hands. Your college entrance exams are in 2 days. Go focus on your studies. I'll take care of this trash after dinner when I take out the kitchen waste. With that, my mother quietly locked the door behind her. Her refusal to let me out only confirmed my suspicions. Not wanting to arouse suspicion, I dropped the matter, obediently put down the trash bag, and retreated to my room. When the night grew still and everyone had fallen asleep, I quietly opened my tightly shut bedroom door. The living room was pitch black, save for the faint moonlight streaming through the window. I let out a soft sigh and tiptoed to the entrance, my hand just reaching the doorknob. A blinding light suddenly flashed from behind me. Zhao's spoiled voice rang out from nearby. Zhao Shui, where are you going in the middle of the night? 8. Just my luck. Of all times, Zhao had to go to the bathroom right when I was trying to sneak out. I kept my tone calm. Can't sleep, just going for a walk. Oh, really? Zhao walked over without batting an eye, having grown up together. I knew her well enough. Her tone made it clear she didn't buy my story for a second. Without hesitation, I turned the doorknob and bolted for the exit, only to find the door had been deadbolt from inside with a key. Anticipating this, I swiftly pulled my keys from my pocket. The moment I inserted the key, Zhao rushed over, grabbing my arm to stop me from turning it. She sneered triumphantly, Zhao Shui, did you really think I'm that stupid? One look at you and I knew you'd try to run. Her voice turned vicious as she spat. Listen carefully, as long as I'm alive, you'll never get near Zhou Ting. You're marrying that old bachelor, period. His dowry money will fund my overseas studies. Rage surged through me. I grabbed Zhao by the hair and smashed her head against the wall. Thud, thud, missing a kidney and still recovering. Zhao stood no chance against me. Within moments, I'd pummeled her into dazed submission. She couldn't lift a finger to stop me. All the while, she kept screaming at the top of her lungs. One moment she'd shriek, Zhao Shui, how dare you? I'll make mom and dad beat you black and blue. The next she'd wail, Mom, Dad, come quick. Zhao Shui's trying to kill me. She's going to run away. The commotion was so deafening there was no way our parents could sleep through it. Just as my parents came rushing out of the noise, I turned the key again. My heart was in my throat, and my hands trembled slightly. The lock was a bit stiff. Sometimes it took several tries to turn it open. I prayed silently that the lock would open smoothly this time. It was as if God had heard my prayers. The lock gave way after just 2 attempts. The moment I swung the door open, my parents were mere steps away. I bolted for the exit, but Zhao Shui, half conscious, suddenly grabbed my ankle. You're not leaving, she slurred. I'll make sure mom and dad skin you alive today. Without hesitation, I drove my foot straight into Zhao's face, twice, with brutal force. Zhao cared about nothing more than her face. True enough, she immediately released her grip to shield her face. She screamed through the pain, it hurts, my nose might be broken, you bitch, I'll make sure you die horribly. Seizing the opportunity, I bolted for the exit. Just then, my parents had already rushed up to me. One of them focused on the injured Zhao, while the other reached out to grab me as I stepped out the door. My father had already seized my shirt collar, yanking me back while shouting, you little bastard, get your ass back here now. The house was brightly lit, radiating warmth, yet outside, it was dark and bitterly cold, but I knew, stepping back into this house would seal my doom beyond redemption. This was Zhao Jiao's home. Never mind, the more chaotic things became, the calmer I grew. I stopped running. I knew my strength was no match for a grown man. I grabbed the doorknob and flung it outward with all my might. The next second, my father's agonized scream pierced the air. The door had crushed his hand with a sickening force. The pain made him release his grip on me. I might have imagined it, but I swear I heard the sickening crack of bone. When my father finally let go, I knew this was my chance to run. I didn't run. I watched his exposed forearm, too slow to pull back, gripping the doorknob as he slammed the door again and again. My father's agonized wails and pleas for mercy filled the air, yet I felt an exhilarating rush of satisfaction. Do you feel it now, Dad? I felt the same pain every time you hit me. When I begged for mercy, you just hit me harder, just like this. After countless struggles, I finally escaped that icy household, their curses ringing in my ears. I severed all ties with that family. On this drizzly spring night with a biting wind, I fled toward freedom. When my exhilaration subsided, the most pressing reality confronted me. Where could I find shelter to safely complete my college entrance exams? I knew my parents wouldn't let me go easily. They'd stop at nothing to sabotage me, drag me back, and force me to marry that old bachelor. Zhao kept mentioning, I'll definitely show up at the exam hall, and they probably know that. 9. I considered calling the police, but it's a family matter. My parents put on this perfect parent act in public. It's downright deceptive. The cops might not even take my side sometimes. I thought of my homeroom teacher, Ms. Chu. She was such a wonderful teacher. That time when she heard Zhou Ting had given me trouble in class, she even called me to her office specifically. She told me I must come to her if anyone ever bullied me. She would never tolerate Zhou Ting's bullying behavior on campus just because he came from a privileged family. I also heard she sponsored a girl from an impoverished mountain village, saving her from child marriage. She always encouraged girls to study hard and take control of their own destinies. With these thoughts in mind, I went to find Teacher Chu. Just as I expected, when Teacher Chu heard about my situation, she didn't hesitate for a second before deciding to take me in. Don't worry, I'll make sure you're safe. With Teacher Chu's reassurance, the weight slowly lifted from my anxious heart. Noticing my rain-soaked hair, Teacher Chu handed me clean clothes and a towel. These are from my college days. They should fit you. Go shower now before you catch a cold. Don't forget you've got college entrance exams the day after tomorrow. My nose tingled with emotion. Thank you, Professor Chu. Professor Chu gently patted my hair and said tenderly, if you really want to thank me, ace your exams and make something of yourself. Prove all those doubters wrong. Alright. Worried I might catch a cold, Professor Chu brewed me ginger tea. Shortly after I finished showering, I sat wrapped in a blanket, sipping the ginger tea. My heart felt warm, and so did my stomach. Just then, my parents called her asking if she'd seen me, and Teacher Chu said no. My parents said, Teacher, you don't understand, this child got involved with shady people online, stole money from home, and ran away. When we tried to stop her, she even hurt us. If you hear anything about her, you must let us know. Teacher Chu glanced at me and simply said, okay. After hanging up, Teacher Chu rubbed his temples and sighed. What kind of people are your parents? I've never seen such blatant favoritism in my life. Because I look like grandma. What is it? I spoke slowly. When my grandmother was young, she suffered domestic violence from my grandfather. To protect herself, she fled to another city, without taking my father. That's why he resented her. Later, she remarried a wealthy man, had 2 more children, and secured their futures early. But when my father got married, she only gave a red envelope. My mother thought grandma played favorites and grew to dislike her too. Keeping my eyes downcast, I added, eventually, they started seeing me as a reminder of grandma, and nothing I did could please them. In my past life, it took me forever to uncover why they always favored Jiao. Absurd as it sounds, that's the truth. Teacher Chu sighed after hearing this. It's not your fault, they simply didn't deserve to be your parents. She patted my shoulder again. It's all behind you now. I thought I'd have trouble sleeping in an unfamiliar place. Surprisingly, I slept like a baby. This place just felt so comforting. When I woke up, Teacher Chu had already prepared breakfast. You're awake. Come have breakfast after washing up. Hope it suits your taste. Her smile was so tender towards me. This was such a rare experience for me. I'd been in charge of making breakfast for the family since I was little. I had to wake up an hour earlier than everyone else to prepare their favorite breakfast. My parents prefer Chinese breakfast, while Zhao likes Western-style mornings. As for what I like to eat, I don't even know myself. And they don't seem to care. After breakfast, I rushed to wash the dishes before Teacher Chu could. You're such a thoughtful child. Teacher Chu said. I prepared some senior year review materials in the study. Stay home and study today. I'll take you to the college entrance exam tomorrow. I thanked her. The day passed quietly and leisurely. Then at dusk, urgent knocking shattered the tranquility. A bad feeling instantly washed over me. As I opened the study door, Professor Chu happened to step out of his room at the same moment. We approached the door and saw through the video doorbell my father with his arm in a sling, and Jiao with bandages covering her forehead and nose. To our surprise, Zhou Ting stood beside her, flanked by several burly men who looked ready for trouble. Come to think of it, Zhou Ting's arrival makes perfect sense. He sees Jiao as his personal property. He'd never allow anyone but himself to lay a finger on her. Beside them stood a middle-aged man in his 40s or 50s, with dark skin, thinning hair, and yellowed teeth visible whenever he spoke. His eyes gleamed with an unfriendly, ruthless sharpness. I figured this must be the old bachelor Jiao had mentioned. Just thinking about it makes me sick to my stomach. I'm so relieved I caught on to their plan to sell me last night and managed to escape. Otherwise, I'd be facing a living hell with no way out. As for my mother, she was standing there with hands on hips, screaming her head off. Zhao Shui, I know you're in there. Get your ass out here right now. Did you really think hiding at your homeroom teacher's place would keep us from finding you? The Zhou family has connections everywhere. Tracking you down is just one phone call away. You hurt our Jiao, and neither we nor Zhou Ting will let this slide. She kept screaming. Teacher Chu, I actually thought you were decent. Turns out you're just another piece of trash. You almost fooled me. Open this damn door now. You have no idea what you're bringing upon yourself by crossing the Zhou family. I knew Teacher Chu wouldn't hand me over, but I was afraid I'd end up dragging her into this mess. As if sensing my thoughts, Teacher Chu took my hand. It's alright, I'm an adult, I can handle this. Her hand was small yet warm and firm. My anxious heart gradually settled. When my parents saw Teacher Chu wasn't answering, they huddled with Zhou Ting briefly before sending some burly men to break down the teacher's door. When persuasion failed, they resorted to force. No door could withstand that kind of battering. It was only a matter of time before they forced their way in. Anticipating this, Teacher Chu decided to call for backup. She didn't call the police after all. This was a family matter. She feared the police might let my parents take me away under their relentless pressure. Instead, she called her friends for backup. Soon enough, a tall woman with burgundy curls arrived, accompanied by a dozen burly men armed with steel pipes. The woman rapped the metal pipe against the wall with a sharp clang, instantly drawing everyone's attention. So you're the ones giving Chu trouble. The curly-haired woman shot my parents a glance, her tone icy and detached. Her commanding presence was overwhelming. Under her hostile gaze, my parents' previously upright postures involuntarily slumped. Zhou Ting kicked over the trash bag Teacher Chu's neighbor had left by the door. This is family business. None of your damn concern. The curly-haired woman arched an eyebrow and strode toward Zhou Ting. Her leather boots struck the floor with menacing thuds. Zhou Ting's men rushed forward to block her path. The curly-haired woman didn't even bat an eye. With a snap of her fingers, her subordinates subdued them all without touching a single strand of her hair. My parents and Jiao watched the scene unfold, their earlier arrogance completely gone. They trembled like frightened quails, not daring to make a sound, terrified they'd be next. The curly-haired woman grabbed Zhou Ting by the collar and lifted him effortlessly, like plucking a chick from its nest. Zhou Ting certainly put up a fight, but frail and just out of the hospital, he was no match for the curly-haired woman. The collar choked Zhou Ting until his face turned crimson. You little brat, you scared my friend. The curly-haired woman gave Zhou Ting's cheek a firm pat. I don't care about family drama. When it comes to my friends, their business is my business. Whoever they protect, I protect. Her warning gaze swept across my parents before settling on Zhou Ting. In our line of work, there's only one rule, an eye for an eye. Go ahead, try messing with that kid again, but remember, walk down enough dark alleys, and you're bound to take a nasty fall. Broken arms and legs happen all the time. Think carefully before doing anything stupid. The sheer intensity of the curly-haired woman's presence silenced everyone. My parents ducked their heads even lower, terrified of catching the curly-haired woman's attention. What a loser. The curly-haired woman snorted in derision and released her grip. Zhou Ting collapsed onto the floor and remained there for a long moment, unable to get up. Jiao reached out to steady him, but Zhou Ting shoved her away violently. Get lost. It was all because of her that Zhou Ting had been reduced to such a pitiful state, and he'd grown to despise her for it. Instead of getting angry, Jiao murmured a quiet apology, her usual arrogance nowhere to be seen. Zhou Ting probably knew he could treat Jiao however he wanted without consequence. That's why he'd laid hands on her yesterday. I have a feeling Jiao won't even make it to marriage with Zhou Ting. She'll suffer his abuse during their study abroad days in under 2 minutes. My parents left with the whole entourage in tow before storming off. Zhou Ting shot the curly-haired woman a murderous glare and spat, "This isn't over." The curly-haired woman smirked and flipped him. "The bird, you," Zhou Ting probably wanted to curse. But the thought of the curly-haired woman's combat skills and the burly men around her stopped him in the end. He left without a word, grinding his teeth in frustration. Once they were gone, the curly-haired woman dismissed the hired muscle and entered Teacher Chu's house alone. 11. Teacher Chu introduced her to me. "This is Shen Sang, my friend, Miss Shen." That name sounds vaguely familiar. I tried hard to recall, but it just wouldn't come to me. Miss Shen's cold demeanor melted away when she saw me. With a warm smile, she said, "Hey kiddo, was I too harsh earlier? Don't be scared, I'm just in the logistics business. Those guys are my employees, not gangsters," I said with genuine admiration. "You weren't harsh at all, you're actually really cool. I want to be someone like you when I grow up." Shen Sang's smile deepened. "Such a sweet talker. I didn't save you for nothing," she asked Teacher Chu. "Hey Chu, what's going on with these people outside?" Teacher Chu briefly explained the whole situation to Shen Sang. Shen Sang regretted, "Had I known, I wouldn't have let them off so easily today. I should have given them a good beating." At the most inopportune moment, Shen's stomach let out an embarrassing growl. Teacher Chu shot her a disapproving look. "Skipped breakfast again. How many times must I tell you? Breakfast is non-negotiable, your stomach will suffer. Work's been crazy lately. No paycheck is worth your health." Shen Sang listened to Teacher Chu's chattering with a smile. Eventually, Teacher Chu gave Shen Sang some bread to tide her over before starting lunch preparations. As we ate, spring thunder rumbled and the morning's briefly ceased rain began falling again. I got up to close the windows, hearing Teacher Chu and Shen Sang's conversation behind me. "It always rains during the national college entrance exams. Looks like this year's no exception. Mr. Shen, aren't you traveling for work tomorrow? The roads get slippery when it rains. Drive carefully." My hand paused on the window latch, then it hit me. I'd heard Mr. Shen's name before, from a classmate 6 years after high school graduation. Our class held a reunion. Everyone in our class adored Ms. Chu. We wanted to invite her, but our class monitor said she'd left the city right after teaching our cohort, choosing to transfer to rural areas for volunteer teaching. Someone asked, "Why so suddenly?" The monitor explained, "Ms. Chu originally came to this city because her close friend Shen Sang lived here. After her friend passed away in a landslide, she couldn't bear to stay in this place of heartbreak." It happened right around our college entrance exams. That day, Teacher Chu got a phone call and her face turned ashen, like the sky had fallen. I've met Teacher Chu's friend before, a really beautiful older sister who often picked her up after work. They were so close, no wonder Teacher Chu was devastated. I turned back to look at Teacher Chu and Shen Sang chatting and laughing together, my expression complicated. They're so perfectly matched. I hope they'll stay this happy together forever. Just like this. I've made up my mind. No matter what it takes, I'll change Shen Sang's fate. During dinner, I pleaded, "Sis Shen, could you take me to my exam tomorrow? I'm afraid my parents might give me trouble." "They wouldn't dare." Shen Sang jabbed her chopsticks into the rice bowl. "Fine, I'll go with you tomorrow." Teacher Chu said, "Aren't you supposed to be on a business trip tomorrow?" "The business trip can wait. Our child's college entrance exam comes first, Mr. Shen replied. "I wouldn't trust anyone else with something this important." I gave them a grateful smile. Mr. Shen is truly a good man. Good people get their just rewards. 12. On the day of the college entrance exam, my parents predictably wouldn't give up. They brought some tough guys to block the school gate. Mr. Shen arrived with his crew, knocked them flat, and safely escorted me through the school gates. Waving at me, she said, "Zhao Shui, give it your all in the exam, aim to soar toward broader horizons." I nodded emphatically, "Absolutely." On the second day of the college entrance exams, my parents didn't send anyone to harass me. When Shen Sang dropped me off at the school gate again, I understood why. My parents' faces were bruised and swollen. Clearly Shen had taught them a lesson, so they didn't dare bother me anymore. With ample time to prepare this time, those exam papers didn't seem difficult to me. I have a feeling I'll score well on this test. The first thing I did when returning to Teacher Chu's place was turn on the TV. Shortly after, local news reported a mudslide on the highway, fortunately with no casualties. Reading this news report brought a smile to my face. Shen sat down beside me. "You must have done well on the exams to be smiling like that while reading the news." I glanced at Teacher Chu watering flowers in the distance, then turned to Shen beside me. "Yes. Really well." 13. Even after the college entrance exams, Teacher Chu still worried about me. "Your parents have gone too far this time. Why don't you stay with me before college?" I've got a spare room anyway. I appreciate your kindness, Professor Chu. I made up my mind. When I make something of myself someday, I'll repay Professor Chu and Sister Shin properly. The college entrance exam results are out. I ranked third in the city, a really impressive achievement, both my school and local. Businesses awarded me some scholarships. All things considered, it added up to tens of thousands, enough to cover my college tuition and living expenses. I gave 10,000 to Ms. Chu as a token of gratitude for her guidance. Teacher Chu accepted it, then immediately bought me a laptop, phone, and new clothes. I've been teaching for years. Money's not an issue. How could I actually take your money? Shin nodded. If you really want to repay us, study hard and make something of yourself. A wave of warmth flooded my heart. Words of gratitude have been said too many times. This time, I'd rather prove it through actions. At the graduation party, I saw Zhao Jiao and Zhou Ting again. Zhou Ting lounged on the couch like a lord while Zhao Jiao bustled around attending to him. I shook my head. Zhao Jiao's rebirth just meant finding a new master to serve, after enduring years of living at others' mercy. How could she not understand that relying on men is never as dependable as self-reliance? My classmates congratulated me one after another when they saw my outstanding exam results. Only Zhao Jiao let out an ill-timed snort. What's the point of acing exams? You'll still end up working for others. Meanwhile, I'm studying abroad with Zhou Ting. After graduation, I'll marry into his wealthy family as a lady of leisure. Her tactless remark offended half the room, and classmates quickly fired back. Jiao, why didn't you attend Peking University like Zhao Shui? Was it by choice? Sisters, yet worlds apart, one gets into a top school with scholarships. The other has to pay her way abroad. The gap isn't just in IQ, her ego's even bigger. Since when did gold digging become something to brag about? Flushing crimson with rage, Jiao clung to Zhou Ting's arm and whined. Zhou Ting, they're all bullying me. Zhou Ting slammed the table. Enough, aren't you ashamed enough already? Jiao flinched in fright. Though spoiled by nature, she bit back her retort. Remembering she still needed Zhou Ting's support, her eyes reddened as she swallowed the humiliation. The private room felt stifling, so I stepped outside for air. Before long, Zhou Ting approached me, his gaze burning with predatory intent. Zhao Shui, you're far more interesting than your sister. I could take you abroad for studies, if you know how to behave. Zhou Ting looked down on everyone by nature. The truth was, he never saw me as human, just some plaything to manipulate at will. I shot Zhou Ting a glance and sneered. Give up a top-tier university to follow you into exile, you wish. Just as expected, the moment I clapped back, Zhou Ting immediately dropped the act, his face turning cold. Zhao Shui, me offering to take you abroad is me doing you a favor. Don't push your luck, fucking asshole. I couldn't be bothered to waste more words on him. Turning around, I headed back to the private room, leaving Zhou Ting fuming where he stood. On my way back, I ran into Zhao Jiao who was coming to meet Zhou Ting. Seeing us apart, Zhao Jiao visibly relaxed. Stay away from Zhou Ting, he's mine. Zhao Jiao sneered. Zhao Shui, you must be so proud of getting into that prestigious university, but mark my words, once I marry Zhou Ting, I'll be living the high life as a wealthy socialite. That worthless diploma of yours won't measure up to my status even after 30 years of slaving away. With a triumphant smirk, she strutted toward Zhou Ting as if she'd already won. Banking on marriage to change your fate is downright foolish. What's worse, the man Zhao Jiao set her sights on was nothing but trouble. Deep down, she knew exactly what kind of scoundrel Zhou Ting was. She'd just been blinded by his wealth. Watching her fawn over Zhou Ting with sickening sweetness, I averted my gaze. It's your choice to make. All I can do is respect and wish you well. 14. During summer break, I took on a tutoring job that kept my days fulfilling. One time when I came home, I saw Sister Shin, usually so cheerful, looking troubled while speaking with teacher Chu, but when I approached, they immediately acted normal, urging me to wash up and join them for dinner. I asked, Sis Shin, are you having some trouble? Shin replied, just a minor thing. Teacher Chu put a chicken drumstick on my plate, saying, alright, let's eat. Shin can handle it. No need to worry. Since they didn't want me to know, I didn't press further. But I can't shake the feeling that Sister Shin's current troubles are somewhat connected to me. After asking around for days, I finally learned what's been troubling Shin. Zhou Ting held a grudge over Shin reprimanding her that day, and urged her parents to teach Shin a lesson. Zhou Ting's parents, who doted on their child excessively, immediately retaliated against Shin. Mr. Shin's business has taken a heavy blow. Though it was clearly my fault, neither Mr. Shin nor Professor Chu breathed a word about it to me. They never held it against me and continued treating me with kindness. My heart swelled with both gratitude and guilt. I wanted to do something for Mr. Shin, but I'm just a high school graduate with nothing to offer, no money, and not enough capability even with memories of past lives. I couldn't achieve anything significant. A profound sense of helplessness overwhelmed me as I wandered aimlessly through the streets. I came to a halt when I reached the lottery shop in trance. A long-forgotten memory surfaced in my mind. The year we graduated high school, someone won a 630 million yuan jackpot. A classmate joked in the group chat about memorizing the lottery numbers. If reincarnation's real, he'd be the next billionaire. I can't explain why, but I jotted it down anyway. Having forgotten which draw the winner played, I resorted to the dumbest approach, buying tickets for every single draw, and so I kept buying lottery tickets for a whole month. Forget about hitting the jackpot. I didn't even win a measly $10 prize. Did I remember the wrong number? After all these years, it's only natural I'd mix up the numbers. But this isn't the outcome I wanted. Mr. Shen's company is struggling more each day, and I feel utterly frustrated being unable to help. Shen, on the other hand, took it all in stride, chatting and laughing with Teacher Chu. It's fine, I've still got you, haven't I? Teacher Chu chimed in, if Boss Shen ever goes bankrupt, I'll take care of you. Their relaxed and carefree attitude eased my guilt a little. Heaven still favors me. I hit the jackpot just 2 days before school started. After so much anticipation and repeated disappointments, surprisingly, I felt completely calm when I learned I'd won. Mostly relief. Mr. Shen's company would be saved now. When I told Ms. Shen the news, she thought I was joking. After confirming I'd actually won the jackpot, Ms. Shen excitedly swept me into her arms. Her embrace was warm and sweetly fragrant. Ms. Shen used the money to pull through her difficulties. She's truly wonderful. Ms. Shen even insisted on transferring some company shares to me, saying she couldn't possibly take my money for nothing. The Zhou family spent a fortune trying to undermine Shen Seng's company. They eventually stopped harassing Shen Seng. After all, business is business, and nobody wants to keep losing money. 5 years flew by in the blink of an eye. During those years, I juggled my studies with starting a company using leftover prize money, leveraging memories from my past life to begin venture investments. There were ups and downs along the way, but I overcame every challenge. By the time I graduated, I'd become a rising star in the business world. Now even Zhou Ting's parents have to address me respectfully as President Zhao. Truth be told, Zhou Ting's parents haven't had it easy these years. Zhou Ting's parents were shady characters, and their company had its fair share of dirty dealings. Shen Seng and I never forgot the old grudges. Once our own business stabilized, we seized every opportunity to make them pay. Zhou Ting's parents were swamped with troubles as their company spiraled downward. During this time, my parents came sniffing around for money, trying to play the family card now that I'd made it big. Turns out they had no emotional leverage to play at all. What a joke. I couldn't be bothered with them, told security to keep them out, and blocked their numbers. They pulled the same old emotional blackmail routine, making a scene at my office, wailing, making threats, calling me an ungrateful wretch who abandoned them after making it big. When security asked them to leave, they assaulted the guard and sneered, "My daughter owns this place, lay one finger on me and see what happens." Then they started shamelessly screaming, "Assault, my ungrateful daughter is attacking her own parents who sacrificed everything to raise her, just to avoid paying our rightful support." They were absolutely certain I'd cave to their bullying like before and agree to their outrageous demands, but they'd forgotten I wasn't that pushover they used to control anymore. I called the cops. Immediately, the police treated them to a few days' hospitality at the station and made them compensate the security guards for medical bills and lost wages. After learning their lesson the hard way, they never bothered me again. I next saw Zhao Jiajiao and Zhou Ting at a charity gala after their return from abroad. 16. To be honest, I barely recognized Zhao Jiajiao at first glance. She'd aged considerably, her hair thinning, her eyes dull and lifeless. No amount of foundation could conceal her sallow, exhausted face. Rumor has it she was pregnant with Zhou Ting's child twice abroad, but he accidentally caused both miscarriages. Yet even so, she never considered leaving Zhou Ting. When Zhou Ting's alcoholism destroyed his liver overseas, Zhao Jiajiao still donated part of hers to him. The moment she returned home, she rushed to get married with him. Now, Zhao Jiajiao walked slightly hunched, following Zhou Ting's every step like a marionette on his strings. Having finally entered the glamorous social circle she'd long dreamed of, a faint smile played on Zhao Jiajiao's lips, but it was a hollow smile, tinged with disappointment. Nothing turned out as she had imagined. Being the young mistress of the Zhou family brought her no respect. Now that the Zhous had fallen from grace, this daughter Vine clinging to Zhou Ting found herself utterly neglected. Zhou Ting walked in holding a drink, immediately striking up a conversation with another woman without so much as glancing her way. Zhao Jiao swallowed her anger in silence, pretending not to notice as she nursed her drink in miserable solitude. It wasn't until she saw me standing radiant under the spotlight, surrounded by well-wishers, that her lifeless eyes flickered with something new, hatred. When I finally found a quiet corner to sit, she approached me and hissed through clenched teeth, "Zhao Shui, you must be thrilled to see me in such misery." I replied with a beaming smile, "You figured me out, how clever of you." In my past life, Zhao was the death of me. In this lifetime, she nearly destroyed me again. How could I not despise her? Zhao clenched her fists in rage. "Zhao Shui, you vicious witch, you knew Zhou Ting was abusive and had ulterior motives approaching me, yet you stood by and watched me walk into this living hell." Her eyes burned not just with hatred, but murderous intent. 2 lifetimes, and she hasn't changed a bit. Her life was in shambles, yet she blamed neither her own poor choices nor the man who'd brought her to this point. The only one she hated was me, the one living better than her, the only safe target for her rage. I gave her a long, hard look. "Even if I warned you, would you listen? You just think I'm jealous of your good fortune, trying to steal your golden opportunity." In this lifetime, I barely interacted with Zhou Ting, yet she still managed to sell me off in marriage. If I tried to reason with her, who knows what outrageous things she might do next. Zhao wouldn't hear it. "If you truly meant well, why wouldn't I listen? If you have any conscience left, tell me how you won Zhou Ting over in our past life. I remember he treated you well eventually. What you achieved, I can achieve too." She's beyond redemption. Even at rock bottom, she still pins her hopes on men to change her fate. "Do you really want to know?" Zhao nodded, her face darkening. "Zhao Shui, are you refusing? I could tell you, but only if you get our parents to sign an agreement, one that severs all ties between them and me for good." "No problem." Zhao agreed without hesitation. Within 2 days, Zhao had my parents sign that very agreement. Before signing the agreement, my parents looked at me with disappointment. "Shui, how could you be so heartless? Raising you wasn't easy. How can you just cut ties with us like this?" I gave them a sardonic smile. Surviving this family wasn't exactly a walk in the park either. Besides, I'm not forcing you to sign anything. Zhao cried out. "Mom, Dad, you're not changing your minds, are you? My entire future happiness is in your hands." My parents avoided my gaze. "We'll sign, of course we'll sign, your happiness comes first." Without hesitation, they signed their names on the spot. The corners of my lips curled up. I knew this would happen. After receiving the agreement, I told Zhao everything she wanted to know. 17. In my past life, Zhou Ting showed his true colors shortly. After we married, he was volatile and abusive, beating me regularly for no reason. At first, I kept wondering if I'd done something wrong to deserve such treatment. Eventually I realized Zhou Ting was just a twisted psychopath. Once, we went on an overseas trip together. When we reached the Zhou family's villa there, I imprisoned him. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. Before the imprisonment, I studied numerous books on psychological manipulation to prepare thoroughly. I kept Zhou Ting captive for 4 months, conditioning him throughout that period. 4 months later, he became as docile as a lamb and never dared lay a finger on me again. Upon hearing this, Zhao couldn't wait to put it into practice. 18. 3 months later, the police came knocking, asking if I'd seen Zhao. Turned out Zhao had accidentally killed Zhou Ting after imprisoning him at home. Given her impatience for quick results, lack of theoretical knowledge, and Zhou Ting's naturally weak constitution, this outcome doesn't surprise me at all. Later, when Zhou Ting's parents hadn't heard from him for a while, they decided to visit him in person, fearing her scheme would be exposed. Zhao went all the way and murdered them too. She then set the place on fire, trying to stage it as an accidental blaze. But Zhao never expected that Zhou Ting's parents weren't completely dead. They managed to call the police with their dying breath. Seeing the police arrive, Zhao slipped away unnoticed and remains at large to this day. If you have any information on Zhao's whereabouts, please contact the authorities immediately. Alright. 19. Another half-month passed. That rich kid never married my sister. He just kept her as his mistress on the side. Out of nowhere, a woman in a baseball cap and surgical mask rushed at me, brandishing a knife. Before the assailant could reach me, undercover bodyguards swiftly subdued them. During the struggle, the attacker's cap fell off, revealing Zhao's face. Zhao's face was crisscrossed with burned scars, her entire body reeking of decay. It was clear these days in hiding hadn't been kind to Zhao. She thrashed wildly, screaming, "Zhao Shui, you ruined me. I'll kill you. I could kill you once, I can kill you twice." I didn't bother exchanging more words with her. People like her never take responsibility, it's always someone else's fault when things go wrong. I immediately called the police and had them take her away. 20 Zhao Jiao Jiaos. Crimes were so heinous that the court sentenced her to death. The shock of this news gave my mother a stroke, leaving her wheelchair-bound for life. My father didn't fare much better. He fell seriously ill and lost his job. Being too old, he couldn't find decent work and had to make ends meet as a janitor. Ironically, he ended up working alongside that old bachelor who was supposed to be set up with me. The old bachelor held a grudge against him for not selling me to him and constantly bullied him. Serves you right. On my birthday, my father called me from someone else's phone. Shui Zhao, I know you hate us, but right now, your mother and I are your only family left. You can't just abandon us. We signed the agreement already. Whether you thrive or struggle, that's none of my concern. I glanced at Teacher Chu, who'd been cooking all afternoon for my birthday, and Sister Shin Sang, who'd traveled specially to be here, then said, besides, I've already found my real family, people who truly love me. I hung up before he could say another word. That day, surrounded by the warm wishes of loved ones, I made a birthday wish for us to live out our days in peace and happiness. The end. Next story. After Song Kai and I were reborn together, we tacitly pretended that we didn't know each other. He followed the class beauty to go to college in another city, and I stayed in this city. Relying on the experience of living an extra life, he quickly became a rising star in the industry, married a beautiful woman, and enjoyed great glory. I stayed with my parents and lived a happy life in my hometown. We met again at a class reunion 10 years later. He hugged the school beauty, smoked a cigar, looked at me in plain clothes, and said sarcastically, in the past 10 years, have you become like this? I am indifferent until the late business tycoon hugged me and said, excuse me, my wife is pregnant. I hope everyone will not smoke indoors. Song Kai, who was usually reserved and calm, was visibly panicked. He finally realized that I was not angry with him after so many years of separation. The next time I met Song Kai was at a class reunion 10 years later. I pushed open the door of the private room and heard someone inside teasing, Song Kai, you are really good, you even got the class beauty. Nonsense. Don't you see how well Song Kai is doing in the big city now? How can ordinary people like us compare with Boss Song? But I heard that you and Ching were having an affair. You two often studied together, and everyone in the class said you were a couple. At that moment I heard a familiar voice casually say, it's just a learning partnership, don't take it seriously. I smiled indifferently. It has been 10 years since I was reborn, so naturally I don't have any emotions anymore, so I calmly opened the door. Even though I hadn't seen him for 10 years, I recognized Song Kai at first sight. He was sitting on the sofa, smoking a cigar, with the class beauty Lin Ranran leaning in his arms. The classmates gathered around them. The two of them are like the moon surrounded by stars. The moment I appeared, everyone looked over at me. The squad leader immediately said enthusiastically, oh, if you mention the devil, he will appear. And Ching, look who's here. Song Kai and I looked at each other. He hugged Lin Ranran, looked me up and down with a frivolous look in his eyes, and a hint of disdain flashed in his eyes. I am dressed simply today. I didn't wear any makeup. Because I was pregnant, the whole person looked a little dusty. There's no comparison with Lin Ranran. She was wearing a Chanel dress, carrying an Hermes bag, and had exquisite makeup on, making her look like a very pampered person. I greeted them gracefully. Long time no see. Song Kai nodded slightly, very indifferent. Lin Ranran just smiled slightly. I didn't bother to please them, so I turned around and started chatting with some of my more familiar classmates. The only one missing is Lu Yen. The squad leader suddenly said, he just sent us a message saying that the plane is delayed and that we don't need to wait for him. All the students sat around the dining table. They all took the initiative to toast Song Kai and praised him highly. After 3 rounds of drinks, I went to the bathroom. As soon as I came out, I met Song Kai, whose face was red due to alcohol. He said sarcastically, and Ching, in the 10 years since you left me, have you become like this? I am indifferent. I just suddenly remembered what happened before we were reborn too. Before my rebirth, Song Kai and I had a fierce argument on the highway. The reason was that after graduating from university, I accompanied Song Kai to the big city and worked hard together for a full 10 years. Now that my career has been somewhat successful, I want to go back to my hometown. I am an only child. My father died last year because he suffered a cerebral hemorrhage and was not sent to the hospital in time. My mother is the only one left at home, and I am worried about her. Song Kai also promised me that he would go back once he made a certain amount of money, but now he keeps procrastinating, saying that there is no future in his hometown and it is not worth going back, and he told me clearly that he would never go back. At worst, I can bring my mother here to raise her, but my mother had been here a long time ago. She was not used to this city and had no relatives or friends around her, not to mention my mom. I haven't felt a sense of belonging in this city for so many years. I finally couldn't help but get angry at him. If you don't go back, I will go back by myself. Do you really have to push me like this? Song Kai questioned me. What's wrong with staying in this city? Do you want to be a country bumpkin for the rest of your life? When our child is born, will we lose at the starting line? I am now 5 months pregnant. Also because I'm pregnant, I want to go back even more. I know how hard it is to leave a city once a child is born. Besides, my hometown is not bad. Although it is not an international first-tier city, it is also a quasi-first-tier city, and is not as bad as Song Kai said. According to you, people who stay in small cities are useless. Only useless people would be willing to live in a small city, muddle-headed all their lives, without any ambitions. Song Kai's face was full of contempt. I despise people like this the most. In your mind, this is who I am, right? I sneered. I don't want you to become such a person, Song Kai said righteously. Then he suddenly said, if I had known earlier, I shouldn't have chosen to stay in my hometown with you to go to college. It delayed me for 4 years. I should have come here earlier with Lin Ranran to work hard. Before graduating from high school, Lin Ranran confessed to him, but he rejected her. He and I have been study partners for 3 years, and we have already developed feelings for each other. But ever since he accompanied me to apply for university in my hometown, I don't know how many times these 14 years have been repeated. At first I thought he was just joking. Maybe he was telling me in disguise how good he was to me, how much he loved me, and how much he had sacrificed for me. Later I found out that he really felt very regretful. So after we had a car accident and were unexpectedly reborn together on the day of filling out college entrance examination applications, he had no choice but to follow Lin Ranran to go to college in another province. I stayed in this city. We both knew that the other had been reborn, but we both tacitly agreed not to interfere with each other. 3. I thought Song Kai and I would never have any contact with each other in this life. Looking at his appearance at this moment, it was obvious that he was waiting for me on purpose. Seeing that I didn't say anything, he sarcastically said, now you finally understand what great development you can achieve by staying in your hometown. Look at yourself, and then look at these old classmates, who is living a good life, but it's too late for you to regret. I've already planned to marry Lin Ranran. He took out a huge ring. The diamond is huge, about 5 carats. The reason I could tell it at a glance is that it looks a little smaller than the one I have at home. He said, if you hadn't done it, this ring would have belonged to you. When Song Kai and I got married in my previous life, he wasn't as rich as he is now, so the ring he bought was very ordinary. The show-off at this moment is also undisguised. Then congratulations, I said indifferently. Walk right past him. I felt Song Kai's gaze behind me, and he seemed unhappy. I don't even know what he's upset about. He chose his own path, and the life he lives is what he dreamed of in his previous life. Could it be that he really needs to see me regretting things in order to be happy? I sat back in my dining chair when the phone rang. Looking at the incoming call, I answered it. Have you gotten off the plane? Yes, I'll be right there. If you're tired, then don't come over. I'll go back by myself later. How can you let your wife go to a class reunion by herself and then go back by herself? She'll be there in 20 minutes. I smiled and said nothing more. Putting down the phone, suddenly someone came over, and Ching, Lin Ranran took the initiative to bring over a glass of wine. Long time no see. I'll toast you a glass and thank you, Lin Ranran said with a smile. I heard from Akai that if you hadn't been his study partner, he wouldn't have been able to get into a 211 university. I can't say thank you. We just helped each other. No matter what, you have contributed to Kai's current success. I'll toast to you on his behalf. As he said this, he was about to pour beer into my glass. I don't drink, I refused. Just drink a little. She poured me a glass of wine despite my objections, and I pushed her away with my hand. Ah, Lin Ranran suddenly screamed. The beer spilled all over her clothes and bag. She quickly took a napkin and kept wiping it, saying, my clothes and bag can't get wet. The other students also knew that the set she was wearing was very valuable, and they all looked at her nervously. Lin Ranran wiped it for a long time, then said to me, and Ching, even if you are jealous of me, you can't do this to me. You damaged my clothes and bag. Can you afford to pay for it? For I haven't spoken yet. Song Kai walked over and angrily said, and Ching, you're going too far. I didn't mean to do that, I explained. I really didn't mean it, and it seemed that I didn't push the bottle of wine just now. I just stopped Lin Ranran from pouring the wine, but for some reason, the wine poured out of the beer bottle in her hand and spilled all over her. I just said that Ranran and I are getting married, and you got so upset. Song Kai ridiculed me in public. The students next to him couldn't help but talk about it. Really, I think Ching is a very calm person, she wouldn't be jealous of others, right? Don't judge a person by his appearance. The more some people act as if they don't care, the more they care deep down. I heard that Ching and Song Kai were together before, but they broke up after Song Kai went to college in another city. Now that Ching sees that Song Kai is doing so well, she must be regretting not leaving with Song Kai, right? I am really speechless, but he still patiently explained again. I really didn't mean it just now, and I said I don't drink, but Lin Ranran insisted on pouring me some wine, so the accident happened. I sincerely thank you for accompanying Song Kai to practice the questions, and I hope you can let go of your obsession, Lin Ranran said sincerely. I know you have always been thinking about Song Kai. I was completely stunned. He looked at Lin Ranran in confusion. How did you know that I'm obsessed with Song Kai? Did I say something that made you misunderstand, or was there something wrong with my expression or eyes today? And Ching, stop pretending, Lin Ranran said firmly. Song Kai is doing so well now. It's impossible for you not to feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry. I spoke each word clearly. I chose my own path. I am very satisfied with my current life. Song Kai sneered and didn't believe it at all. I don't want to explain either. There is nothing to explain. They are just unrelated people. Today's meeting was just an accident. If I had known Song Kai would come, I might have avoided him. It's not that there is something that I can't let go of, but there is no need to meet people from the previous life again. People from the previous life should stay in the past. I'll compensate you for the clothes and bags. I didn't want to waste any more time talking to them, so I said, send me the price and your bank account number, and I'll transfer the money to you. Compensation, Song Kai asked directly. Do you know how much Ranran's clothes and bag cost? The clothes cost 150,000, the bag cost 300,000, not including the accessories. The cheapest price is 450,000. What are you going to use to compensate? I took a deep breath. I told myself not to be angry about Song Kai's contempt for others. The doctor said pregnant women should maintain a good mood. I'm not such a petty person. Just apologize to Ranran and let it go. Song Kai said magnanimously. You can't just apologize, Lin Ranran quickly added. You have to promise in front of all your classmates that you won't have any improper thoughts about Song Kai in the future. 5. Oh, I laughed. I was so angry that I laughed. Looking at Lin Ranran's arrogant look, I picked up the half-spilled wine bottle next to me. The doctor said that pregnant women should not get angry, but they should not hold their breath either. Then I slowly poured the half bottle of wine onto Lin Ranran's clothes and bag. Lin Ranran was frightened. She looked at me in disbelief, and after a long while she said, and Ching, are you crazy? What are you doing? At the same time, Song Kai also protected Lin Ranran behind him and pushed me. Fortunately, the squad leader behind me quickly protected me and stood in front of me. Fearing that Song Kai would impulsively do something unmanageable, he advised, Song Kai, don't get excited. And Ching, I gave you face, didn't I? Song Kai said fiercely, how dare you treat Lin Ranran like this? Who do you think you are? I don't need you to give me face. And I don't think of myself as anyone else. I am just myself, I said coldly. He added, since I agreed to pay the compensation, the clothes and bag she was wearing are mine. How I ruined them is my business. Is it your business? Can you afford the compensation? Song Kai asked me harshly. Give me the bank account number. I said word by word. Are you going to lose everything just because of a fight? And Ching, you should have curbed your stubborn temper a long time ago. Otherwise we wouldn't be like this today. Give me your bank account number. I repeated, my voice a little louder. Don't regret it, Song Kai threatened. Kai, stop talking nonsense to her, Lin Ranran yelled at him. She was about to explode with anger. Since she doesn't appreciate it, then give her the account number and see if she can afford to pay so much money. Song Kai did not hesitate any longer and said a string of numbers. I entered my bank account number and transferred the money directly, but the system reminded me that the password was wrong. I remember this as the password. After thinking for a while, he entered another password. Still prompts an error. I pursed my lips. Is it true that pregnancy makes people stupid for 3 years? Suddenly I can't remember it. Song Kai and Lin Ranran were waiting on the side, and my classmates were looking at me, watching such a great show. See, I haven't turned out yet. Lin Ranran laughed first. And Ching, weren't you quite arrogant just now? Where's the money? Why didn't I see any extra money in Kai's account? At this moment, Song Kai was also holding his mobile phone in his hand, but there was no notification of the money arriving. I forgot my password, I explained. I'm afraid if I make another mistake, my account will be locked. What a good excuse. Lin Ranran was extremely sarcastic. Song Kai smiled contemptuously. The classmates around me were also whispering. I thought Ching really had to pay compensation. I felt so bad for her. who is so stupid? 450,000 is half a house. Originally, Song Kai and Lin Ranran didn't care, but Ching insisted on doing it herself. You've been slapped in the face now, haven't you? You're embarrassed now, aren't you? Lin Ranran asked me coldly. So, are you going to write an IOU? How long will it take to pay it back? 1 year, 2 years, or a lifetime? 10 minutes, I said bluntly. In 10 minutes, Lu Yan finally arrived. Don't pretend, Ching, you can't afford to pay me back. Lin Ranran didn't want to waste time with me. You could have just apologized verbally, but now you have to kneel down and beg me. Everybody is laughing at me. Fortunately, the next moment, the door was suddenly pushed open, accompanied by a familiar voice. Sorry, I'm late. 6. Lu Yan walked in. Everyone looked over there. He apologized. The plane was delayed. I'm late. Having said that, he walked straight to my side. He looked at the scene in front of him and noticed something strange. What's wrong? It's just a small misunderstanding. The class monitor quickly tried to smooth things over, and said to Lin Ranran and Song Kai, we are all classmates, there is no need to make things so awkward. Can you give me some face, squad leader? It's not that we don't give you face, it's Ching who doesn't know what's good for her, Lin Ranran said arrogantly. I didn't bother with her at first, but she insisted on pouring wine on me. No matter how much I don't care, she still has to give me an explanation, right? Really? Lu Yan turned his head and looked at me, with a smile on his face. You poured wine on someone. Lu Yan, I heard that you had a crush on Ching when you were in school. I don't want to discredit her in front of you, but she is really too much. Just because she was jealous of me and Song Kai being together, she deliberately picked a fight with me and even soiled my clothes and bag. You come from a well-off family, so you should recognize the brand on me, right? Are you jealous of Lin Ranran? Lu Yan asked me with a frown. What do you think? I asked him back. There's nothing to be jealous of, Lu Yan said to himself. Lin Ranran was a little unhappy. Lu Yan, is it possible that after so many years, you still like Ching? Yes, it has never changed, Lu Yan admitted generously. The other students were very surprised. They don't know that Lu Yan and I are married. In fact, Lu Yan has been pursuing me for many years, but I have never agreed. I don't want to go through a marriage like the one with Song Kai again. Neither of us made any principled mistakes. But it was just suffocating. Later, I gradually discovered that Lu Yan and Song Kai were actually different. There is no need for me to live in the past, always look forward. Plus, my parents started urging me to fall in love and get married, so she agreed to date Lu Kai, and they got their marriage certificate this year. Because I found out I was pregnant shortly after getting the marriage certificate, we postponed the wedding and didn't have time to inform anyone. It's because of her that I came to the class reunion today, Lu Yan said frankly, and then turned around and asked me, so what's the situation now? I forgot my bank card password. Can you transfer 450,000 yuan to Song Kai's bank card as compensation to Lin Ranran? I replied, give me the card number. Lu Yan took out his cell phone. Lin Ranran was stunned. Song Kai's expression also became visibly ugly. Lu Yan, this is between us and Ching. You'd better not interfere. Ching, you're going too far. You soiled my clothes and asked Lu Yan to pay for it. Do you really think Lu Yan is a sucker? You treat people like this just because they like you, Lin Ranran said unconvinced. They all knew that Lu Yan came from a well-off family. When we were in high school, he picked us up in a Mercedes-Benz 7. I am happy to do so, Lu Yan said with great pride. I am willing to be needed by her. Lin Ranran was so angry that she couldn't speak. She was going to embarrass me. As for why she dislikes me so much, I don't know. No matter what happened between Song Kai and I happened 800 years ago. So there's no need to worry about it. Is this the card number? Lu Yan entered the bank card number and asked Song Kai to confirm. Song Kai took a look, said nothing with a cold face. Lu Yan did not delay and transferred the money. Song Kai received a text message reminder of the arrival of his account. Lin Ranran turned her head to take a look and said in disbelief, Lu Yan, you really helped Ching pay 450,000. What else? Lu Yan said impatiently. Now that I've compensated you, can you go back to your own position? Lin Ranran gritted her teeth. She glanced at Song Kai. Song Kai said nothing and walked away with a gloomy face. Lin Ranran hurriedly followed Song Kai back to their original position. Song Kai picked up the remaining cigar in front of him and started smoking again. The squad leader was inviting everyone to eat and drink. Lu Yan sat next to me, watching Song Kai smoking, frowning. Sorry Song Kai, my wife is pregnant. Please don't smoke indoors. Song Kai was stunned for a Moment. I didn't react to Lu Yan's words for a moment. Lin Ranran was also very surprised and asked quickly, "Your wife? Who is your wife? Isn't it obvious?" Lu Yan chuckled. He took me in his arms and introduced me openly. "We just got the marriage certificate and haven't held the wedding banquet yet, so we haven't had time to inform everyone. But because Enqing got pregnant unexpectedly, the wedding will be postponed." "Are you married to Enqing?" Lin Ranran's voice became shrill. "Is there a problem?" Lu Yan asked Lin Ranran. Lin Ranran was instantly embarrassed, blushed, and felt ashamed. She just said arrogantly that I was jealous of her and Song Kai being together, and scolded me for being poor. But as everyone knows, Lu Yan was a top student in school during his student days. In addition to his good family background, his academic performance was also among the best in the school. After graduating from university, he started his own business. His current business achievements are no worse than Song Kai, and are even slightly better. It's just that the two people developed in different cities. There is no intersection, but both of them must have heard about each other's achievements among their classmates. That's why Lin Ranran is so ashamed at this moment. The eyes of the classmates around her when they looked at Lin Ranran also changed. Suddenly I felt that she was a bit contemptuous. Of course, I never thought about showing off my relationship with Lu Yan when I was with him. What I valued was never his money, identity, or status, but the fact that we shared the same ideals. After living my life again, I now deeply understand how important it is for two people to have the same values. Otherwise, no matter how beautiful the love is, it will eventually be buried in the grave of marriage. After announcing my relationship with Lu Yan, all my classmates actively and proactively toasted us. Lu Yan defended himself and said, "My wife can't drink alcohol, she can only drink milk." "I understand. We won't be like some people who take advantage of their wealth to bully others," a classmate said ambiguously. For a time, the public opinion among classmates changed completely. Lin Ranran's face looked extremely ugly. She looked at Song Kai with a face full of grievance, hoping that Song Kai could speak for her, but Song Kai's eyes were not on her at all. Instead, he looked straight at me. I didn't want to respond to him, but I felt a little uncomfortable with Song Kai's gaze. So I turned to look over. Song Kai's eyes were a little red, like very angry. "I don't know what he is angry about. Isn't it the best arrangement for everyone to be well now?" Lu Yan seemed to have noticed Song Kai's look. He chuckled and said, "Mr. Song, are you dissatisfied with my marriage to Enqing?" Song Kai withdrew his gaze, crushed the cigar fiercely, drank his wine by himself, and said nothing. Lu Yan didn't waste time on him. He hugged me and gathered with his classmates. "Everybody is congratulating us." It is said that after all these years, Lu Yan finally saw the moon through the clouds. They say Lu Yan and I are a match made in heaven. The class reunion was very lively and was not affected by the unpleasant incident just now. In fact, the atmosphere was even better because of Lu Yan's arrival. Everyone also focused their attention on Lu Yan and me, and Song Kai and Lin Ranran, who were originally popular, were ignored. The two of them also became unexpectedly low-key. Even before the class reunion was over, Song Kai slammed the door and left. Lin Ranran hurriedly followed Song Kai and left. "What's that sudden look on his face?" A classmate looked at Song Kai speechlessly as he left. Another classmate echoed, "He thinks he can look down on others just because he has been in a big city for a few years. We are just giving him some face and support because we are classmates. Does he really think he is so great? I really don't envy Song Kai. He is doing well in the big city, but there is no need for him to act so superior in front of his classmates, as if we are inferior to him." That's right, everyone has their own way of life to choose, and no one is nobler than anyone else. The classmates were somewhat dissatisfied with Song Kai's attitude today. "I'm used to it." Song Kai looks down on people from small cities from the bottom of his heart. I believe that people from small cities have never seen the world and are not on the same level. After the class reunion, Lu Yan and I sat in the car. Lu Yan drank some wine and was a little drunk. He said sourly, "It seems Song Kai hasn't forgotten you yet." "Impossible. I was sure he just couldn't bear to see me living a good life." In his opinion, if I stayed in a small city, I would waste my time and regret it for the rest of my life. But I didn't expect that I would actually settle down here. He finally realized that I was not angry with him after so many years of separation. Lu Yan didn't say anything more. He just held me tightly in his arms and whispered in my ear, "I should thank him for abandoning you back then." Then it's hard to say who abandoned whom. I always felt that this was a choice made by both of us, so I never hated Song Kai at all. If he hadn't suddenly appeared in front of me, I would have probably really forgotten him. 9 However, the next day I received a call from Song Kai, who said, "Enqing, let's meet." I refused directly. "What else is there for us to meet? I'll be waiting." For you at Iceland Coffee. After saying that, Song Kai hung up the phone. He seemed certain that I would go just like in my previous life. He can accurately grasp my personality no matter who is right or wrong in our dispute. The final result will definitely be what Song Kai wants. Otherwise, in my previous life, Song Kai wouldn't have asked me to live with him in another place for 10 years this time. I did as he wished and went. There will also be a little curiosity. What on earth does he want to do? By the way, let me make it clear. We will never have any contact with each other again from now on. I walked into the cafe the moment Song Kai saw me. I saw a smile of success in his eyes, in his mind. I am so easy to control. I sat down in front of him and asked straight to the point. What's the matter, cappuccino or mocha? Song Kai asked me. Boiled water. I said bluntly. I'm pregnant, so I can't drink coffee. I saw Song Kai's expression change slightly, but in the end, nothing was said. He asked the waiter to give me a glass of boiled water, he said, and Ching, I didn't expect you to be with Lu Yen. When you were in school, didn't you say you didn't like him? People change, I said coldly. Didn't you reject Lin Ranran's confession back then? Aren't you still with her now? It's because, Song Kai didn't say the words that were on the tip of his tongue. I wasn't interested either, so I just said, in marriage, only you know the ups and downs. Whether it's right for you or not, only you know it. What do you mean? Are you saying that our marriage in the previous life was inappropriate? Song Kai was a little angry. Why else? I admitted. Why else would we go our separate ways? I'm just teaching you a lesson, Song Kai said angrily. I'm just making you understand that your obsession in your previous life was wrong. Once you regret it, come to me and we can reconcile. I just looked at Song Kai, didn't laugh either, not angry either. I just feel helpless. I asked Song Kai in confusion. Why do you feel so superior? Because everything I did was right, Song Kai said firmly. My choice was right. Look at the students around me. How many of those who stayed in the local area have achieved great success? Yes, Lu Yen has done well, but it's because of his family background. Without the help of his family, Lu Yen would still be useless. Only I, relying on my own hands, have made a name for myself in this international metropolis. Song Kai became more and more excited as he spoke. I drank boiled water and didn't interrupt him. It was not until he saw that I had remained silent that he angrily asked, why don't you speak? Everything you said is right. What can I say help you? And Ching, there's no need to be so sarcastic. Is it so difficult to admit that others are excellent? 10. Yes, you are indeed excellent, I affirmed. It is not easy to survive on your own in a strange city, let alone Song Kai is doing so well. I saw an uncontrollable smile of satisfaction on Song Kai's face. I continued, I have never thought that your ambition is wrong. I have never denied your achievements. Looking at the development of the world, it really needs positive people like you to create greater value for society. But Song Kai, your choice is right. Does that mean others' choices are necessarily wrong? What qualifications do you have to judge or even ridicule other people's lives? You have broadened your horizons in the big city, given yourself a better life, and made greater contributions to society. This is your responsibility to society. But where is your responsibility towards your family? Have you ever thought about your parents? Don't they want you to stay with them? Yes, the money you give them is enough for their retirement. But when people reach a certain age, they really feel that some things are more important than money. I didn't finish my sentence. Song Kai couldn't listen anymore. He said, and Ching, I don't want to listen to your lectures. Yes. There's no way he would listen to my ideas. In his mind, no one can change what he has determined. That's why I realize so deeply how important it is for two people to have the same values. I won't say any more. The two were silent for a while. Song Kai suddenly said, and Ching, I won't beat around the bush. I came to you today to ask you if you are willing to go back with me. I was stunned for a moment, thinking I had heard it wrong. Song Kai looked at me and sighed. Yes, just consider it as me giving in to you. Come back with me now, and we will pretend that the past 10 years have never happened. The only condition is that you abort the baby in your belly. I was silent for a long time before I digested what Song Kai said. I thought Song Kai asked me to meet him today just to show off how well he was doing and how much I'd lost by leaving him. I came to see him today to tell him that I am living a good life now and have never regretted it for a second. I never thought that he would ask for peace. The two people have long been people from two different worlds. Are you too happy? Song Kai saw that I didn't say anything and asked me with raised eyebrows. Song Kai, are you crazy? I finally couldn't help it and raised my voice a little louder. Song Kai looked extremely ugly. I'm married now, pregnant, and have a very stable and happy family, and you already have a fiancé and have established yourself in the big city. And now you ask me to be with you. I was really speechless. Is it that I can't admit your excellence, Or that you can't stand seeing me do well? Song Kai was embarrassed by what I said. He retorted, and Ching, I know you have been angry with me for the past 10 years. Isn't it because I didn't fulfill your wish to go back to your hometown? Okay, I promise you, when I go back and take care of the work, I will accompany you back to your hometown and stay with your parents. I looked at Song Kai in silence. Song Kai thought I was thinking, and said generously, I know it's difficult for you to make a decision right now. I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. Just give me your reply before the day after tomorrow. No need to wait until the day after tomorrow. I will answer you now. 11. Song Kai looked at me, somewhat surprised. He said, have you thought about it? No need to think about it, Song Kai. I have my own life now. What happened between us is long gone. The moment we were reborn, we made the choice. I don't need you to wrong yourself. Give up your big city, and give up your pursuit of life. And Ching, you'd better think it over carefully. I won't lower myself to seek peace with you like I did today next time. If your purpose today is just for the whole, then there is no need for us to waste any more time. I stood up directly. Goodbye. Never see you again. And Ching, Song Kai grabbed me. There was a flash of panic in his eyes. I've done this much. What else are you dissatisfied with? Song Kai asked me harshly. What have you done? Just one sentence from you has brought us back together after 10 years of separation. Why, Song Kai? So what do you want from me? Song Kai gritted his teeth and said, I'll try my best to satisfy you. I don't need anything. I just want you to stay away from me. And Ching, enough of your temper. Just think of it as me being naughty. I couldn't explain it to him clearly, and I didn't care what he was thinking. I will continue to be naughty in the future. So Mr. Song, don't waste your time on me. And Ching, what do you want? Song Kai was a little upset. Do you want me to kneel down and beg you? Admit that I still like you. Admit that you are the only one I want in my life. I looked at Song Kai. What he said today overturned my perception of him. Seeing me suddenly fall silent, Song Kai softened his tone a lot. Let's just treat these 10 years as a dream, and let's start over. I chose to leave because I was angry with you, not because I didn't love you anymore. How can you be angry? I laughed sarcastically. You just walked the path you wanted to walk, and finally found that you were not so happy, so you wanted to go back and start over. Song Kai was very excited, as if he was angry out of shame. He said, when did I regret it? Do I need to regret my current achievements? I said a word and Lin Ranran wanted to give birth to a child for me immediately. What you think is really not important to me at all, I said calmly. From the moment you followed Lin Ranran to go to study abroad, there is no relationship between us anymore. And Ching, stop pretending. You just can't accept that I left you. You just can't let go of your pride and reconcile with me. But I'm giving you a way out now. I really can't accept that you left with Lin Ranran without hesitation. I admit that I felt lost after my rebirth. I didn't expect Song Kai to make up his mind so quickly and do it so decisively. I thought that after so many years of our relationship, he would be somewhat hesitant, but not at all. During that time I felt like a joke. It was from that moment that I let go of all my obsession with you. I looked at Song Kai. If you hadn't suddenly appeared in front of me now, I wouldn't even remember you. And Ching, I don't care whether you believe it or not. This is what I really think. I hope you will never appear in front of me again and disturb my happy, fulfilling and desirable life. I shook off Song Kai's hand fiercely and walked away without looking back. 12. I thought that since I had talked so much and had such an unpleasant experience with Song Kai, our relationship was completely over. There will never be any intersection again. Even if we meet by chance, we will just be strangers. But I didn't expect that half a month later, I received another message from Song Kai. And Ching, I'm back and I'm never leaving again. I was totally stunned. I clearly recognize all the words above, but now I suddenly can't understand their meaning. Can we meet once? I turned off my phone immediately. Just treat it as an illusion. But when I got off work, I saw Song Kai standing at the company gate waiting for me. After I became pregnant, Lu Yan actually suggested that I stop working, but I felt that it would be more boring to be alone at home, and it would also make me more prone to prenatal depression, so I insisted on going to work. And Ching, Song Kai walked up to me holding a large bouquet of flowers. I'm really a little disgusted. Wasn't what I said clear enough? I asked him, didn't you want me to let you come back to me just because of one word from me? Now I have taken care of all my business outside the city, and I will come back here to develop with peace of mind in the future. I will never leave again, Song Kai promised. Do you really think that things have turned out like this between us just because I want to go back home and you want to stay away? Otherwise, how could we drift apart when we love each other so much? We drifted apart because we both made our own choices. Because we both gave up on each other. I haven't given up on you. Song Kai was very excited. I know you are living a good life now. Lu Yan treats you very well. He is willing to stay with you in the city you like. He can give you excellent living conditions. But I can give you all these now. You know I'm doing fine. Why are you still bothering me? Because the one you really like in your heart is me, Song Kai said firmly. You only chose to be with Lu Yan because of my departure. Now that I'm back, you shouldn't go against your heart. I didn't laugh at Song Kai's self-righteousness after all. I really loved him back then, which gave him the confidence to say those words. Song Kai, do you know that love will lead to disappointment and disappear? I looked at Song Kai. Song Kai's eyes were red. He probably didn't expect that I would really be so indifferent to him. He was so indifferent that he really couldn't feel any emotion from me. In my last life, I accompanied you to another place for development. You promised me that you would come home, but in the end you said you would never come back. I have never questioned your pursuit of your career, and you have indeed succeeded. I am angry because you should not have lied to me. From the moment you asked me to accompany you to another place, you never thought about coming back, right? Song Kai made excuses for himself. I was afraid that you wouldn't go with me. I really love you and I'm afraid of losing you. After your rebirth, you followed Lin Ranran to another place without a second thought. Didn't you ever think about losing me? Song Kai was speechless. He said painfully, I thought you loved me enough and would always wait for me. I didn't expect you would really be with another man. Because I'm with other men, you can't accept it, so you come back to me, right? 13, and Ching, I really like you. Lin Ranran and I are just together for a short period of time. The person I love from the beginning to the end is you, Song Kai said affectionately. The more I listened, the more disgusted I felt. You don't like Lin Ranran, but you wasted 10 years of someone else's youth. You said you like me, but you insisted that I submit to you. Now you find that everything is out of your control. You start to panic and regret. Don't you think your behavior is dirty? I'm sorry, Song Kai suddenly apologized. He didn't seem to know how to defend himself. I'm sorry, and Ching, can you forgive me this time? I will never let you down again. Song Kai took out the ring from his arms. It was the wedding ring he said he would give to Lin Ranran. He said, and Ching, do you still remember this ring? We didn't buy it when we got married because we didn't have enough money, but I promised you that I would give it to you. I came back this time because I wanted to get back together with you. I bought this ring especially for you. Do you know why Lin Ranran targeted you at the class reunion? Because she knew that I wanted to get back together with you. I laughed when I heard it. It turned out that at the class reunion, he wanted to get back together with me, but the way he got back together was not to be nice to me proactively, but to intimidate me. Let me go back and beg him with a smug face. I didn't want to say more, but looking at the ring, I couldn't help but say, I remember in my last life, you didn't give me any money even though you had it. I was too busy in my previous life. No, it's only after you lose something that you realize you should cherish it. Even if it's my fault, it's all my fault. And Ching, can you give me another chance? Marry me and we'll start over. This time, I'll give you everything you want. Speaking of, Song Kai knelt down and proposed to me at the company gate. Maybe I loved him too much in my previous life, which is why he was so confident that as long as he came back, we would be back to normal. I shook my head and rejected it coldly. There is no chance. And Ching, I really gave up the development of the big city for you. That's your choice. It has nothing to do with me. I interrupted him, and I've said it before, the city is not the main reason for our separation. It's your actions time and time again that make me feel disappointed. I'll change it. You won't change. Everything you do has a purpose. I didn't need to show him mercy. You know I loved you very much, so you can use my feelings to deceive me unscrupulously. You know that even if I find out in the end, I will forgive you. You bought the ring not because I liked it, but because you wanted to keep me in this way, because you found that I really don't care about you anymore. You chose to stay now, not for me, but because your parents are old, and your mother suddenly fell ill. They need you to come back and stay with them to take care of them, but Lin Ranran will not stay here with you, so you thought of me. I said it calmly, even laughed, because I realized that I really didn't care at all even though he knew that song. Kai's motives were all impure. He would not have any emotional fluctuations. I watched Lu Yan walk towards me from a distance. I know he is waiting for me. He respects all my decisions. He also has enough confidence because of how good he is to me. Song Kai can never compare to him. 14. Wife, can we go now? Lu Yan asked me while hugging my body. I nodded. He didn't even look at Song Kai anymore. We turned and left. I made up my mind to stay, really because of you, not Lin Ranran, nor my parents. Song Kai said loudly behind us. I stopped and said, even without these so-called purposes, I can't be with you again. Song Kai, I don't love you anymore. I just don't love you anymore, really. I can't remember any of the good times I had with Song Kai. The happiness I see now is within my sight. They were all given by Lu Yen. After that, I never gave Song Kai any chance to get close to me. I blocked his mobile number and never answered any calls from unknown numbers. I submitted my resignation. Originally, Lu Yen felt sorry for me working outside and said that he could support me. He was really worried that I would be bored at home so I could go to his company. I refused before because I didn't want to become too dependent on him. Now, I deeply feel that we are a family. A few months later, I gave birth to a daughter. Half a year later, Lu Yen and I had a grand wedding. Many old classmates were invited. Of course not Song Kai. When Lu Yen and I went to toast at our classmates' table, we heard a classmate say, Song Kai hasn't been out of town for more than a year. I heard that he and Lin Ranran broke up. Song Kai's mother passed away a few days ago. Another classmate said, fortunately, Song Kai stayed at home with her for more than a year. Otherwise, how could I feel at ease? I went to the funeral a few days ago. Song Kai looked very different. He was not as radiant as he was at our class reunion last year. He looked lifeless. It is said that when his mother died, her biggest regret was that she did not have a grandson. Could it be that Song Kai has been obsessed with Lin Ranran? No, a female classmate whispered. Lin Ranran was willing to stay in her hometown for Song Kai, and took the initiative to ask Song Kai for peace, but was rejected by Song Kai. Lin Ranran said that Song Kai could not forget. She glanced at me and didn't finish her words. I know it's not appropriate to say such things in this situation. I pretended not to hear anything and calmly drank my wedding wine and greeted the guests. After the wedding, Lu Yen and I returned home tired. I was too tired to move. Lu Yen is sorting out the gifts we received. Then he suddenly called me, and Qing, there is a private red envelope for you. Lu Yen gave it to me. I saw the name Song Kai on the red envelope. I didn't see him today. I looked at Lu Yen. Lu Yen smiled and said, I didn't see it either. I opened the red envelope and saw a ring inside. There was also a letter and a gift worth about 8,888 yuan. I opened the letter. 15 and Qing, happy wedding. I know you didn't want to see me, but I couldn't help but come to your wedding. I shouldn't have let you find out. I just want to come and see you. To see if you are really happy. Then I'll probably give up. I'll probably really face reality. You really don't love me anymore. Not in love at all. I still arrogantly thought that as long as I looked back, you would be waiting for me there. You are absolutely right. When I was reborn, I left not just to be angry with you. I always thought that without you, I could be happy with anyone else, and I could still live a good life. In the past few years, I have indeed enjoyed unprecedented freedom. I don't have to consider your mood. I don't have to be forced to eat breakfast by you. I won't be scolded by you for coming back drunk from social events, and I don't have to be nagging by you to go back to my hometown every day. But suddenly one day, I began to miss you. I miss the meals you cooked. I miss you sitting in the living room waiting for me no matter how late I get home from social events. I miss you holding me tightly in your arms. I've thought about you for a long time, but I never came to see you. I stubbornly believe that you should be the one to give in between us because your choice is wrong until I finally couldn't bear it anymore. I want to be with you so much that I even often call Lin Ranran by your name. So I came back and attended the class reunion. When I saw you dressed simply, I naively thought I won. You are having such a hard time. If I ask you to come back to me now, you will definitely not refuse. But reality slapped me hard in the face. The way you look at me, there's no love in it. I thought I could use money to suppress you, but I didn't expect that you married Lu Yen and you were pregnant. Not only do you have enough money, you also have enough love. I started to panic. I didn't know what to do to get you back to me. I always told myself that you chose Lu Yen only because you were angry with me. The person you love is me. You loved me so much in my previous life. It's impossible for you to just stop loving me, so I came to you shamelessly. I think I have a chance of winning. I can give you everything that Lu Yen can give you, and you love me more, and you will be moved by me. Now that I think about it, I was really just bringing shame upon myself. Why should I abandon you and still feel justified in thinking that you will wait for me here forever? I'm really selfish and dark. He hugged Lin Ranran, looked me up and down with a frivolous look in his eyes, and a hint of disdain flashed in his eyes. Man, will I know that no matter what I say, it's useless. I'm just really sad. And Qing, my heart hurts so much. I went to the hospital to see you on the day you gave birth. I saw Lu Yen holding your child, and I saw the joy of being a father for the first time on his face. I thought of the unborn child we had in our previous life. I was really looking forward to his coming, and I was ready to be a father. But again, I missed it. Sorry, Anqing, sorry. I wish you happiness forever. I looked at the letter helplessly, with mixed feelings. Song Kai's current mood is probably the same as how I felt when I saw Song Kai leave without looking back when I was just reborn. Even though I always tell myself to respect the other person's choice, but when the night is quiet, I will still break down, feel unwilling, feel pain, and feel unbearable, but now, it's all over. I don't know how long it will take Song Kai to get over it. Really, it doesn't matter anymore. I threw the letter into the trash. I didn't see the words on the back of the envelope. And Ching, I will be waiting for you outside your wedding room tonight. Lu Yan watched my actions and smiled at me from the side. He said, wife, a night of love is worth 1,000 gold. We turned out the lights, the long night, no longer alone.